What's up, everybody? Doing something a little bit different tonight. Tonight is RiverQuest Live. So if you are, you're probably watching, either on RiverQuest channel or on Midnight Hatter. Please go subscribe to RiverQuest Games on YouTube. This is the old crew, the classic bunch that got together like 3 years ago and haven't haven't gotten together since the before times. Sorry, I apologize for the janky setup. This is my fault actually because well, I'm mobility challenged right now, but really the truth is that I've just gotten used to having all this table space and you guys are cramped up there. But tonight is session 0. We're going to be building up some characters, so it doesn't really matter how great the video quality is for the moment, but hope you guys will enjoy watching us put this little thing together. Chris, do you have anything to add? Anything that I missed?
No, man. I think they nailed it on the head. I'm really excited to roll up characters, talk about the setting, introduce you guys at least to the first kind of region that I hope we'll start in. That's part of a homebrew setting that we've played in before, but slightly tweaked and I think improved from the last time. So we'll introduce that tonight, introduce the starting town, try to answer questions for you guys. I've got some checklist items to go through just to make sure that the group we're kind of putting together not only fits, but that we also understand sort of how we all want the game to go. So it'll kind of be a mix tonight of really bad puns about orcs and goblins, and then it'll also be a lot of talking about, hey, what are the rules for X, Y, and Z. So kind of a mix of stuff. But by the end of the night, hopefully we have characters ready, a setting set, a starting town picked, and maybe even a little bit of some dice rolling.
Sweet. Oh man, well you guys had most of you have gotten kind of a head start putting together some character backstories, and nothing like rolled yet, but we were just talking about concepts and things, and so yeah, that's where we're at right now anyway.
Yeah, well, I think we just pick up kind of where we were.
Okay, pretty cool. So for
we meet in a tavern.
half-orc.
Oh, I've got some taverns ready. But I'm gonna try to at least not start in a tavern.
I appreciate it.
I had I obviously I can't do it because I think at this point it's become overplayed. But Matt Mercer's idea to have the traveling circus come to town is so good. This idea of here's a bunch of different people that don't live here, and now they're all of a sudden here. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
Oh man.
So, Steven, what are you thinking of playing? Because you always have really creative characters. Like Hogarth McNarty is still in the Hall of Fame of some of my favorite characters of all time.
Which is funny because I thought he was going to be pretty boring, like human bard, pretty vanilla, but
absolutely stole the show.
I think he took on a life of his own.
I think he did.
Well, I mean, like I said, I was kind of wanted to get an idea of your setting, because this is not a region that we've played in your homebrew setting before, correct?
Correct.
So, I want to know, what are we getting into? Are we going to be in a place where it's a lot of humans and half-elves, and people are going to say, like, ooh, look at that Loxodon, I don't trust him, he's too big for my, like...
Yeah, so let me pull it up and I can pass it around since... and then my technology will also improve as we go. I was leaving from soccer practice today and ran home and just grabbed all my stuff and threw it in bags. And so I have other things to bring with, but I can pass around at least the region map. Feel free to zoom in on any of it as you want. There's a neat little tidbit down the bottom corner that I think you'll like. The region I want to start you guys in is called The Run. It's just The Run. Kind of a boring game to start with, but it's...
Is that on Google Docs or something? Can you share it with him?
I could probably put it on a Google Doc and share it with Steven. Yeah, I could do that real quick. The run is fairly developed, like you'll see when you kind of see the map. There are 2 major cities within the run, Kareborum and Renwick. And then stemming from those are somewhere, I think, around 8 large towns and roughly 20 or so villages. And so it's a developed region that is inhabited mostly by what you could call, if we're just sort of stepping outside of the world for a second, like just the basic races of the D&D universe. But there's especially the larger cities would be port of call to travelers from the Elven Isles, like the Moonlit Isles and the Rainy Isle. They would be port of call for travelers from further lands that were bringing exotic goods in. So while maybe a Loxodon would not necessarily be something that everyone sees during their lifetime, it wouldn't be out of the norm for travelers and adventurers to sprout up who may not fit the sort of local flora and fauna, so to speak. They would be, looked at with a little bit of caution, and maybe even, depending on the town or city or what else is going on in the region at the time, a little bit of mistrust. But overall, the run in really the whole of Kareborum has been home to adventurers for quite a while. And so to see folk that are outside of the norm might make someone kind of turn their head and be like, oh, like I didn't think I'd see a Loxodon today. But it would be down to the individual how they would respond.
Nice. I didn't mean to use Loxodon as an example. I'm not gonna play a Loxodon.
It's all good. Actually, I saw the Loxodon race the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I want to be an elephant. Yeah, an elephant man.
Big old Ganesh.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always wanted to make a Loxodon monk just because I think you're sort of pop, with the big pads.
Yeah.
Or if there was an octopus type race, so that it would have 8 arms.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be rude. Area of blows is just
like 32 hits.
Yeah. The hentai haven.
One of the new things to Kareborum that wasn't in the original is a new, I guess we call it organization. It's called the Travelers Guild. That throughout the run, I tried to apply kind of real world spacing and like demographic patterns to the settlements. So we have like big cities, towns, and then villages that support those towns, which support the cities. But in true kind of medieval spacing, towns and villages and cities were never more than like a day away from another settlement, right?
Yeah.
When I kind of planned it out all on the map, there were gaps where there was more than a day's worth of travel. So anytime the day's worth of travel was more than 3 days, there's these inns that pop up on the road that are run by the Travelers Guild, who is called the League of Strangers. And they are particular about who can stay at their establishments. They also demand a price for the food and quarter of the establishment. Often it's just gold, but it's usually run by folk who are, let's just say, looking to stir the pot. So the inns can always be a source of excitement, adventure, a little, whatever you might be looking for. So something to think and keep an eye on, or keep in the back of your mind as you travel through the world. And these inns of the League of Strangers, maybe more than meets the eye.
Looking for some laundry to fold. Go there.
Go there. Exactly.
You like burgers?
They may have burgers.
We got burgers.
We got burgers. What do you want? You want wings? We ain't got wings.
We ain't got no wings.
So we got burgers.
We got burgers. We got the fries.
Burger.
Smelt your rice.
Fries.
We got burgers. Well, we just got the burgers.
So do you guys want to? I have this like little checklist of things to ask that are going to kind of like frame up our game session, so to speak. Do we want to do characters first? I feel like that's going to be more fun. The checklist can be real quick, and then we can just like answer questions. It's like paperwork stuff. Like, how many times do we want to play? How long do we kind of want to shoot for the campaign? Like stuff just to put on paper so that as we get started, we can kind of, at least for the first chunk of this, be like, yeah, we're going to play
Player contract.
Yeah, as long as possible, every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
let's get that knocked out.
You want to do that first?
Yeah, that way we have the fun of.
I'm into that. So let me skip this part because we don't need to ask each other like questions about RP and all that, because we kind of understand that part of it, like what we like to do.
RP heavy.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the role here. So first off, how long do we want to sort of commit to playing the campaign. That'll tell me how much I want to move the story arc along. Do we want to like, you guys see this going all the way through like a level 20? Do we want to kind of shoot for that ambitious goal? We can always amend it and be like, okay, you know, we played this for like 6 months and we're all level 10. Like, let's kind of wrap this up and change up. What do you guys think? Do we want to do a short, like, you know, kind of a few weeks long campaign with these characters, a few months? You want like kind of a TBD end date?
I would like to do a couple months, and then maybe we do a different, like put them on like a hiatus. Maybe we can try to do, either we get bored with this story, we have them all transport to a different realm, or whatever happens. But then we can make a decision then at the end of that like shorter campaign. Do we want to keep these characters, this campaign rolling, or do we want to write new characters, try different couple month campaign and try something new, switch DMs so that, you know, you can play, get that idea in your head and be like, oh, this is what it's like to play again. And whoever's DMing is like, oh yeah, this is what DMing is like again.
Yeah.
And they, you know, and then you aren't getting burnt out on DMing because you have to do it for a year.
Yeah.
I feel like that was similar to, I think we should definitely have like a tight level 10 arc coming.
It's already going.
I figured. But then with the soft, like, 20 arc, that way we can make that decision or come back to it. But personally, last time we faltered because it was kind of just, like, just go.
Yeah.
So I feel like knowing that, I mean, we're going to get to level 10 with, you know, like a cool mid-story awesome or whatever it is. I don't know. That's where my head's at. Because I do like to change up, but I also like to keep going, you know.
Okay.
Level 10 or die trying.
Yeah, no, that makes sense for me because I was going to say the same thing. Have like I didn't want to put like a number on it, but a relatively not short, but a not 220 campaign because that can take decades. But like a shortened campaign with the ability for it to go further, whether that's just somebody at the end popping out being like, "You thought that was me, but this is me." Like however you want to
one
choose.
HP.
Old man Carruthers.
Yes.
The guy takes off his glasses. You're like, it was you all along.
How are we so blind?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then what day and time? Or days and times?
Well, so do you guys want to do for the arc? What would, this is just me not knowing how long this might take. What do you think to level 10 would take? 3 months, 6 months?
3 months.
3
No,
months?
you got to think.
It depends
so,
on
are
how
you
you-
leveling up on like we killed a guy, we get experience, we leveling up on events?
Well, that's going to be one of the other things to talk about.
Because that would decide. Because you go if it's on events, and you figure you level up every other one, so there'd be 20 things.
Yeah, I think events would be the best for what we're doing because if we do it by experience, level 7 to 8 is going to take, unless it's just fight.
So milestone levels.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down with that.
And an ability to maybe earn a little extra XP.
Okay.
Along the way, doing certain like art, like, you know, remember the nail house fiasco with you running and jumping and doing flips and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What,
Then you get the extra XP.
then
for
you
that.
get a little extra XP for that good RP or
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Okay,
I do
I'm
love
into
that.
that.
I love good RP.
So we'll do milestone
But then
levels.
fucking
next
this
time.
guy over here is gonna RP all of us to death. Well, actually, you're good too. And
I'm dangerous
Oh,
now
we're-
too.
you're good at lying to everybody.
I like ran and killed myself.
Yeah, that was.
And y'all saved me.
Oh, it's so weird to be frustrated at a fake character. She ran out. I really like honestly doing stuff. I want to take the glasses off.
That's funny.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, milestone levels work. So I've got 3 months. We'll see where we are after that, and then kind of evaluate
All right.
with milestone
I think
level.
a quarter is good.
We'll try to get to level 10, and we'll see where we get.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like
So
it.
this is not necessarily related to that, but next time we want to flip the tables to where the tavern is behind you.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that, and then that way we can always like project stuff up there. If we can figure out how to
It'd be
get.
better if the stuff was behind your head.
Yeah, like,
You,
like
you're
that.
gonna have the screen in front of you.
Yeah,
So yeah, I like that.
I'm down. Yeah, we can do that, and we can.
We'll just put up a green screen behind you, and then like
Oh, probably
Well, if we
I have one. I
We-
can bring it.
Oh, we have the.
We got laptops with HDMI cables, so we can just plug it into that because HDMI is an input.
That works.
Yeah, we have the.
Well, the projector
Yeah.
screen is white. That won't work.
Oh.
Yeah, that
Session
works.
0. This is gonna be exciting live stream events.
Well, we can work out the logistics of that stuff. I'm not too worried about it. Our technical capabilities have gotten a lot better since the last time we tried to do this.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. I've got some tech to provide and bring. I've got a microphone that I ordered that I'll have in front of me that we can figure out sound wise. That should be for the whole table should be able to get picked up on it. So we'll figure all that out.
Yeah.
All right, so then
Are we starting in level 1?
yeah. We'll
Oh,
start.
okay.
Okay, so how often do we want to try to play?
Once a week.
Once a week would be ideal. The only problem would be with Morgan's schedule.
Yeah.
Just by the nature of her job, she's going to have to work weekends every 3 weeks. So
Yeah, every 3 weeks.
Okay. Well, we can. So that we'll actually address that in a couple seconds because we can talk about what to do, like when people aren't here. Do we want to just sort of RP them into like the inn for the night? Maybe they're not feeling well and they just hang out. They're not part of the adventure. Does somebody at the table play their character? Do I play their character? Do they just zombie behind us the whole time and they're part of it but not doing anything? Like we'll figure that out in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So are people on once a week
you want to run out,
is
or do you-
Yeah, I'll
frequent?
Okay.
Is everybody okay with that?
What is it?
Once a week?
Yeah.
For the
I
main,
think
for the
We've
main
had a
stories.
year of not doing anything on Fridays. So.
Yeah,
We should have
down. I'm in.
be honest about when we can. I think we should attempt this week.
Okay.
And I
once
think
a week
if we
or
can't
every
make
2
it,
Every 2 weeks is probably like the standard going forward after, but I think we should try this. It's got really
Yeah, let's do. Let's start with once a week. And if we really are like recording all of our sessions and we end up posting them places, and this will address the next one. If we play for 4 hours,
So.
that's 2 times 2 hour videos that we could post for people to watch. That that's about as long as people would probably sit. I mean, I know like Crit Roll does 4.5 hours or whatever nonsense, but that's long.
yeah.
People can barely put up with me for 30 minutes.
Obviously.
I mean, we can shoot for that long because a lot of the times we do end up going long, but to set a goal of 4 hours every Friday, I think we're going to get burnt out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So but that's so like. How long would we want to say that a typical session would last?
I think, 2 hours.
2 hours, cool.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Okay, that's awesome. Perfect. And then Andrew, is your place okay?
Yeah.
And then where do we want to put as a backup? I can put my house can be a backup because we have the dining room that's big that we could figure out tables and everything.
Yeah.
Or we
Got
could
the
do it
garage.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
go
we can
back,
do it
go
if
back to
Bayless
the
is.
garage. That'd be cool. All right, cool.
I agree with those back.
So we'll put my house and Steven's house as the two backups for now, and we'll ask Scott if he would be up for it. But I know with the baby that'd be tricky. So
Yeah, I feel like with 2 backups, it should be fine.
yeah, I think you're right.
At that point, we've gone enough to do anything.
Yeah, because that would be me and Morgan couldn't play.
Yeah.
Bayless couldn't play, and you couldn't play.
Accurate.
And if you can't play, then there's really
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of playing happening.
We just have a complete tavern session.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey guys, pass
just
the
filming
beer.
us hanging out and
Yeah.
drinking.
It's like one event, like we literally eat together.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
All right, so then are we?
Eating chicken.
Yeah, exactly. 2 hours of this.
What day do we want to try for?
Fridays.
Fridays.
I think so.
So we'll just. I mean,
Yeah,
since we
that'll
said-
make it'll be good. That'll be good because it'll give me less pressure to like do real stuff.
I like it.
I can just sit here and have fun with you guys.
Yeah, I'll put
Yeah,
Fridays
like,
and
we should
Saturdays.
go
for now.
out to eat.
Like, no, sorry, dude, sorry, I gotta go.
Yeah.
All right, that works for me. Yeah, I'll put Fridays, and then we'll have Saturdays as a backup in case we run into an issue like where a bunch of people are like, "Oh, I can't do it Friday." Like, we
Yeah.
can move it to a Saturday and change the time and all that.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
think
do
that
that. We're all friends.
But you're off the Saturday.
It's like, how long should we wait if people are late?
Yeah.
Like, I'll wait an hour.
So
I
we
mean,
can
And
it's
then
very
we can
different.
text machines. Like, how
Yeah,
long is
exactly.
it?
We can do
All right.
this one.
Oh, Sam, go ahead.
then
One thing I would
then Friday, and
implemented
Saturday.
was 3-strike rule on missing sessions.
Figure that out.
If you miss the first one, you zombie behind. So you still get the experience if it's a big event. Second one, you are, at the tavern. And third one, you have something detrimental happen to you. And then after that, it's kind of like, okay, your character is a very tertiary character at this point.
Yeah, it's just for little things.
Yeah.
So does that mean that Scott is starting at level -1 because he's not here?
Scott, you started with 3 strikes.
The only problem I see that happening with is with Morgan's job.
But we're
She's
going into
to
that.
miss him.
No, we're saying the
Say, like,
weeks
if
that
they just don't show up.
yeah, the
Like,
weeks
they
that
just say they're going.
yeah.
Oh,
If you say
okay.
you're showing up, we assume you're showing up.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, work this week, and we're like, okay, she's taking a nap in the tavern, and
Yeah,
she'll get
exactly.
experience. And if like we do a big event, somehow you'll fall through a portal, and we'll have you drop into the event.
Yeah.
It's like working retail, you know. There's a difference between no call, no show, and a call out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. You get 3 no call, no shows.
I can't wait until Chris pulls me aside later. He's like, dude, this is the second time I've done this. I'm gonna have to let you go.
It's just
This is-
I'm gonna have to fire you.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
your
This is hard for me, okay?
It's hard. It's hard on all of us.
I'm
Yeah.
not mad at you.
I'm gonna have-
Really disappointed.
I'm gonna have to ask you to turn your horn and your character guy.
your dice in your book.
Your dice. You want my dice? You can have my dice.
That's fun. Okay, then let's see. So there's plenty of questions here. We'll go there quickly. For sessions that I can't make it, does somebody else want to step in and run like a small mini session, or do you just want to cancel? Samia? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, let's just keep those to like tight like scenarios. Like
Yeah,
you wouldn't have it on.
You could type the scenario out and we have fun for now.
Yeah,
That's
it
it.
could be like a
Yeah, I wouldn't
2-hour
want to
workshop.
progress the campaign without
Yes,
you, but we could do like bottle episodes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
without you.
So, yes. All right. Okay, cool, perfect. And
It'd
then
be like a cold start.
yeah,
The next session.
Yeah, I think you could like lead it into it.
Like
So
do
that
like
eases it right up.
a like 5-minute intro on the session, and
Yeah.
it's just like cold start session.
I like it. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, if we record, we can just send it to you. So you
Yeah,
can
then I sit
borrow
there
it.
and watch it. Oh, dude, I'm gonna be watching these all the time. I can't wait.
That's super weird.
I love it.
And then if
Roll those dice.
what do we want is like a sort of a threshold for the number of people who can't make a session before we cancel a session.
You need 4
Four.
players.
So we would need 1
3 or 4.
2. So we got
Personally, I'd say 4 if it's
5,
6.
6, 7.
I just don't. Yeah. If you
So-
do 3, it can get weird. Though.
Yeah. So if 3. So we'll just say if 4 players are absent, then we'll just say, hey.
No. I mean, I was saying, yeah.
4 total.
So
I don't know. Is that too much? Am I being weird?
No, I mean I was on the fence between 3 and 4.
always
So
three
if
and
we
four.
want to try, if
The
we-
thing is,
if we
I'd
wanna-
rather miss a set. It's more about hanging out.
I'll put 3 or 4, and then when we get here, we can decide like what we want to do. If
Yeah.
folks are like, yeah, let's just do something different, like a cold start episode, like kind of part of the story, or like, hey, we don't have anything written tonight,
Maybe that's-
but we're just gonna let
maybe
you
that's my thought.
explore in the city.
Is you don't
Yeah.
have a full arc event.
Yeah, but something
If it's
small.
less than 4.
Yeah, less
Yeah.
than 4, then you don't do the campaign.
That kind of thing. 'Cause
Less
yeah.
than 4, Chris gets blackout, and we just make it up as we go.
That better be a written down rule.
Yeah. How do we do
You only get into it's just 4.
Everyone's
We're just gonna be sitting there at the table sweating, like please, someone show up. We're just pouring shots for you.
and we're all just standing outside the windows like we're not here. We haven't shown up.
inside. You stay out.
The rest is we can do a fortune teller session
Oh,
where you just get
Oh,
him
like an alternate
wasted.
history one?
No.
Oh,
We
You can
get
also do
him,
that,
get
though.
him faced
That'd be
it, but
cool.
then give him his book of our stories, and he'll be like, "I think you're gonna die of a stump that stumps in your future." Yeah, it's like it's he's technically reading from our future. So we're like
you're gonna die from a stump event?
Would that be
Yeah,
great
yeah.
also? Because it's like
Also
the next
making a
time
stump.
Just like the old gypsy woman told me.
Yeah.
you'd be like, one of the next times you go to sleep, you're gonna die.
yeah,
What?
Like,
Wait,
sleep?
one of the next times? How many times do I have?
no.
Is it the rest of my life? Well, obviously.
We'll
I think by definition, yeah.
Choose which army.
My rule, that is the rest of your life.
We're gonna play an entire session with a magic 8-ball. You just ask me questions of what you want to do.
Yes.
I'll shake it.
Science point to yes.
Science, go for it.
Yeah.
I rolled an 18. What does that mean?
Ask you again later.
Son of a bitch!
That's funny. All right, so then if you're not here, do you want your character, to be played by me, by someone else, in the party but not active, or is benched, or like not benched, but just like in the inn or wherever, or do we just want to make it up like on the spot? Any of those options are available.
I kind of love. I like the full bench unless we're in hard story mode, and then I guess you have to step in as a DM. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I'm
guess case by
speaking
case.
first. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
No.
Yeah, like
I
it
agree.
depends on if we stop like coming up to a battle, one of us has to work. Or
Well, and I
something.
don't want to put too much pressure on you, though. Like, you have enough NPCs to control. So, like, if someone in the party wants to step up and
Yeah.
I think that I can do that.
Okay.
Or I mean, I think
One of us can, yeah.
everyone's very good at
Okay, so you can like transfer the role to somebody
Yeah.
else. Just
Yeah.
for the RP.
Yeah, so then you
Yeah.
can be like, hey,
And like
Morgan's character, like, what are you doing? And then Andrew can be like, well, I'm gonna hang out.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, no, you do.
That's
Actually.
my bad voice.
That's one how it goes. Yeah, but I feel like it should be based
What if
on.
he said the opposite? He's gonna say, "Hey, I'm Morgan." My name is Morgan.
Roar.
Alright, so we'll say that I'm not gonna do it unless it's like a really low narrative.
That's a good
night
point.
where I'm
Yeah,
just
I like the other.
yeah, I
guys.
can just kind of take it.
Yeah, and important, like I feel like it should be on a situationally based. Because if we're at an inn and then we're progressing somewhere
In the first
complete, yeah, they're just like they just sleep there.
I'm hungover from the night before. I'm gonna go lay down for 3 days.
Yeah, and
Makes
I'm
sense.
gonna sit here and eat chicken for a couple days.
Yep.
So then if it's like you open the door and the orc king comes out and cliffhanger, and then the person can't make the next one, obviously my character's not just gonna be napping while you
Yeah.
guys are fighting the final boss.
Oh well, guys, I think we're taking a nap right now. This seems like a good time.
You guys see what you got this handled.
I feel like that should be somebody's character arc. Like every time we're about to go into a major event, we're like, well, I'm gonna take a nap.
That'd be hilarious if in like actual fiction books they just had. Oh, for this chapter, he's asleep.
Yes.
He's asleep. We're gonna go fight the boss, but
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah, like George R. R. Martin's character.
Yeah,
his
exactly.
chapters.
Where's
He's
Jon
there,
Snow?
but
Ah, he
he's
took a
not.
nap.
Jon
He's
Snow.
at the end.
Napping.
Yeah, that's the whole chapter.
The inn is 3 days travel.
oh, sorry about them.
A couple. Oh, sorry, Steve. Were you saying something? I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm sorry. That was the dogs.
Oh, dude, don't worry, man. We all have dogs. It's
I
the
have one
world.
right here under the table, but you can't see him.
All right, so then
Just
just
rolling a character.
This is real quick because I think all of us are already on the same page with this. I think that like food is acceptable during gameplay. Obviously,
Charlie,
Is this fine?
alcohol acceptable during gameplay. Everyone, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. All right, this one is a little bit tricky just because it can be useful, but it can also be distracting. Would you guys yes or no on our smartphones being like on like at the table during gameplay?
that's gonna be hard to say no for the exact
Yeah, it's
thing
not.
that happened tonight.
Well, we can always, you can turn ringers on and like have that on, but I don't know if unless it calls.
I would just say just try to be limited as much as you can because I actually
Oh,
use my
that's
phone
not-
for story stuff
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, I mean, don't like fiddle around on your phone. Be respectful of people's times, but you have one right there.
Oh shit! Sorry.
If anyone's caught on Instagram, you lose
Yeah,
a finger.
there's stuff up here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll think of creative punishments for characters who are out of body looking at Instagram.
Yeah, because we can
I
put
use
them
it
on
literally.
vibrate.
That's gonna be
And put
texting
them in a
family
file.
and friends, and
Yeah.
also
And then
like
you
what was
I mean,
that
that's
weapon
what
they
we
used
think,
and blah blah blah. You know?
Yeah.
And we're all boomers. We all have wives and kids, and
Yeah, I agree. I totally
Yeah.
agree.
I don't
Just
know.
be
Kids nor
respectful
wife
of each other.
disagree.
Yeah, I don't have either
Yeah,
of those
but
things.
Get out of here with that.
But like that's happening. So
Oh,
No, it's
you're
not.
my
Yeah,
child.
man, I'm
I'll
a fire.
have
You're my wife.
all right, fur
You're
babies.
my wife or my
yes,
kid.
we'll
Yeah.
do.
We all
we'll
have
do-
dogs.
Your spouse,
We'll do limited use.
We're not spouses.
Yeah, just
You're my
something else.
significant other.
your fiance.
My
This one
fiance.
I'm
is
fine.
important. I wish Scott was here for this because he's always very knowledgeable about the rules of the game. How long do we want to give for making a ruling on something that we're like debating and looking up? We want to just say like you have 60 seconds to figure it out, and then we're moving
we call
on, and then
Can we call this
The
the
timer.
Spud
yeah,
Rope
I've got it
have
rule?
somewhere.
that?
Yeah,
I bought
Yeah.
that.
Spud
Great.
rule.
The Spud Rope rule.
Yeah, you did.
I would say egg timer us, and then after that, like I think you should make the call. Like we shouldn't be dictating to you what the rules are. You know,
Yeah,
ultimately, I don't care if what you say isn't necessarily rules as written. you know, it's your story. You can't like
I like the rule of cool.
Rule of cool.
rule of cool.
If it's cool.
If it's cool, that's the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's
Like,
cool,
goes
roll
on
on
too
it.
long, then
Yeah.
you have that.
But you can't do the stupid thing where you're
I
like,
do think
I'm sorry, Spud, I'm gonna really shit on you right now.
Oh, damn.
oh, the road. Oh, the road.
The rule.
Where you sit there and you're like, well, can I do this and then this and then this and then this? And you're like, nah.
Nah.
Or we say roll on it and you're like, yeah, but what if I do this and this and this?
I've done that before. I've rolled for the same thing multiple times.
That's
No, that's the thing though, is you're like, I'm gonna ask this question, roll. I'm gonna ask that question again, but a little different. You
We'll
know,
sort it out.
Yeah.
We'll say
I think
like,
I think speed is more enjoyable.
yeah, we'll say like for anything that we're discussing that's a rule, we'll say it's 1 minute, and then I'll just make a call and we just move on. And if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, then we'll
It got wet.
get
I
questions,
think-
comments.
No,
I think in the end, like if they
Drop
actually
in,
go ahead.
I dropped in
I think
there.
you
Poop,
suck.
or the water bowl.
Yeah, he looks like he's having
I was
that.
letting it dry.
Makes sense. He like looked up.
It threw me off at first. I
Yeah,
was like,
I see God.
Well,
No,
I see God in the
Right.
hill.
I was moving it.
No, I was thinking. The only thing is,
I was very confused why you did
I'll-
that.
no.
Hey Steven, is the lighting still okay?
He will argue.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
I mean, I can see you
God will
guys.
actually argue the rules, and
Yeah.
so like I do think the one thing that I'd really love is even if it's wrong, we got to move forward with what you say. It's like God's hand
60
came
seconds.
down, and even if it's he's just like later on we find out well technically if you use a rope to trip somebody, you know,
Yeah.
and then, but it's just like
Yeah, but it's
yeah
like
we're gonna
10
move
minutes.
on and just know that that's the thing,
Yeah,
right?
So we'll say 1 minute. Is that fine? I feel
Yeah.
bad discuss that at all, but
And that's the beautiful thing about this system compared to like other systems that are very cumbersome when it comes to rulings on those types of things. You
Yeah.
know?
That's the point.
yeah,
Um,
D&D is very, I think, theatrical more than like getting into nitty gritty numbers of things. Like it's like, hey, just use the game as a framework and then have fun with it.
Yeah, I'd prefer everybody have fun as opposed to research topics for
Yeah.
an hour and a half.
Perfect.
We follow
Next.
the rules.
Yep.
Everybody's correct. And
Yep.
we hated it.
And then we can always retcon.
was miserable.
We'll talk about that in a second too. Okay, and so I think, at least generally speaking, the few times we've played, we've kept player knowledge and character knowledge as two separate worlds, so that like we could talk about the game outside of the game, but when you came to play, you had to remember like what your character really knew. Do we want to keep it that way, or do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
To the best of your ability.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's just like the rule of cool. Like if you're like, oh, I know there's an orc in there, and you're like, ah, shit, I only know that because I talked to Chris last night and he told me that this thing was in there. Then I'll be like, whatever, man. Let's pretend.
Well,
like
one thing I read,
we'll figure that out.
I think it was, I don't remember what it was when I was reading it in actually, but basically they said like if you can create a justification for why your character would know the
Yeah, exactly.
meta knowledge, like
yeah,
if you're
you're like,
like,
oh, I smelled it work. Or,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
then you can use it. Like the one that they used was like if you're fighting a troll, you can't say, oh, trolls are weak to fire. You'd be like, because my character spent time at the university, would he have come across a
Right.
piece of writing that told
Said
him that
that.
trolls are weak to
Yeah,
fire?
totally.
They'd be like, yeah, roll on it. Let's see.
Yeah, I would just say roll a
Just
history
roll
check
it.
or roll
Yeah.
roll a probably not. Anyway, so you'd roll something, and then you would be like, okay, cool, I did know that, not just oops. And if you roll really low, then you'd be like, well, you accidentally tell the party that they're weak to poison.
You remember them being weak to
That was
whispering.
nice.
Yeah.
It
Your
looks like
guess.
what's
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
What's going on right here?
Yeah. Oh man, that's
Going right into Morgan's
going
face.
right across.
What?
No,
Nothing?
it was all jokes. It was all
Yeah,
jokes.
it's definitely a joke.
No.
Definitely a joke.
Okay, and then the next few questions are kind of like gameplay, like style.
Yeah.
For role play, like that depth of the role play. Do you guys like want like kind of deep role playing, like things like crit role, where you're like deep into your character, or do you want like lighter role
What,
playing?
could you give me what that means in layman terms? Because I want to role play as hard as I can, but I know that I break character. I've tried not to do that.
Well, that's okay. So, like, if you watch Critical Role, when they are role playing deeply, they are 100% their characters. Like, it helps that they're professional voice actors, so they can like project that character forward much easier. But they
Much easier.
break character all the time. Like, it's definitely I'm gonna have fun, but then when I'm role playing, like, you know it a little bit different.
How do I break character? That's one thing I always. Sometimes there's table talk that's it's gonna be part of us no matter what, especially if we're drinking.
Yeah.
But it's like trying to keep that to a minimum. But how do I do it? Because a lot of times I'm like, I want a table talk because I'm a little jokester over
You
here.
can just be like, "Oh, this is Charlie talking."
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
using my language.
Yeah.
Use my word.
Yeah. Or you can just say like out of character. Or if you want to be
I
like,
thought
old
there had to
school,
be like some kind of like alarm system.
nah, no alarm system.
Yeah.
You could even
Well-
just be like full EverQuest and be like OOC.
No,
Yeah,
you
it's
know what the secret is?
Yeah, man.
It's the glasses.
Ah.
Glasses on, in character. Glasses off, out of character.
Oh,
Lance Hunt wears glasses. Captain Amazing doesn't wear glasses. That doesn't make sense. He wouldn't be able to see.
That's why
Calm
he's so
down.
cool.
What is it? That movie. I just watched it. It's on Netflix. Mystery Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they do that. Like,
Glasses.
he has glasses, but he doesn't. Yeah, but they're not the same.
He takes them off when he transforms.
Superman. Yeah. All right, so we'll just say it's going to probably be deeper role play, and that can mean whatever we want it to mean as a group. Like, not everybody is super comfortable role playing. Like, whenever I'm on the other side of the screen, like, I don't think I'm a great role player as a character.
I can't do voice.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Sam refused to speak English when we were playing Delta Green because he was Japanese.
That is so role playing.
That was so great.
That is some deep role playing.
What if you role played like an executive and you're like, dude, I got a job. I'm actually CEO now. And you're like, I was role playing an executive. I just went
That's
really
just-
hard of the character. I just got back from Harvard.
That's funny.
Or just started a Kickstarter.
I started a Kickstarter. I'm at Harvard.
Showman's
I'm a
walked
CEO.
in.
Showman!
He said he found it. I don't know if he's got it tuned in yet, but that's who I was
He
just
must have like
texting.
I bet it's an alert he's got set up on Twitch. To say
No,
what
no,
he
he texted me about something different.
crazy. Okay, then so for tone of the campaign, do we want it to be? I personally don't want to. I'm open to discussion on this. I don't really want to do like a really dark, really dark type of tone, simply because like this past year has fucking sucked, and I'd rather it just be. This would be a more fun escape. It doesn't have to be like a comedic tone to the game, where like Monty Python.
Not
It can be
slapstick,
dramatic.
but yeah.
But like, I just want to stay away from like horror genre D&D, where we're like,
Yeah,
and
agreed.
then the demon like tortures you for a million. Like, I was like, all right. Yeah. So would you guys, if we're okay with not doing like super dark, would you guys rather do like dramatic, comedic,
More comedic.
both?
Dramedy?
Dramedy.
Yeah.
Comedy.
A black
Works
dramedy.
for me, man.
A black dramedy.
A black
We
drama.
could do next time. We could just do like a Seinfeld ass. What's the deal with
Yeah.
horse?
New campaign setting. We're in New York,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but they're pre-made. Someone's Jerry, someone's George.
You're seeing
We're
what
gonna
happens.
D&D the Seinfeld universe.
Well, that's it. I'm out.
Newman Tripp. Damn it.
That's one of the best episodes. I rewatched that episode recently. 'Cause I remember the bet,
Oh my god, I love it.
but because I everybody remembers when Kramer comes in and slams the money down on the table and goes, "I'm out." But the setup, like the 10 minutes prior to that, where they're talking about the woman across the street and they're watching her, and then Kramer slinks off out of the room, and then 2 scenes later he comes in. It's just, oh my god, it's
I'm
so
out.
great.
It's such a perfect. And that, I guess since we're talking about it now, it actually brings up another question we were going to ask. The way that Seinfeld obviously dealt with that, clearly Kramer is masturbating, but they never mention it or say it or show it.
Wait, this is no masturbation D&D.
Well, Charlie, that's what we're about to figure out.
I'm
Put
out.
your hands back on.
I'm out.
Personally, I would prefer illusions as
Yes.
as a
Yeah, I figured.
instead of directly saying like
yeah, like I take my
like
Just like they go off to the bedroom.
Oh,
and
I
then
don't
we
like
just
that.
be like,
Yeah.
and it fades to black, and then pick up from the other side.
Yeah, no, I don't want to have any descriptors of that. That'd be
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so glad.
just to not be crass because that just gets uncomfortable.
No, it's
Yeah, I
super
really
weird
don't want to
and
listen to
gross.
friends describe fantasy sex. And,
Oh god.
Unless you're doing like
Yeah, or-
Community,
Well,
where it's
that's-
like, and then I smack her with 1, 2, 3. I put 3 in there.
That's what we'll make you do. We'll make you pantomime the whole scene.
Yeah,
You
no,
have to commit.
no roofing people at the bar.
Yeah, no,
Well,
no,
yeah.
no,
That was
No,
Yeah.
I prefer the Demolition Man approach. It's all in our heads.
Who did that? Say again, sorry.
Oh, I prefer the Demolition Man approach. It's all in our heads. We put on the helmets and don't even touch.
Exactly.
What happened?
If you really want to roleplay this, here's the bucket of shade. You put that on, and you can
We're at
talk
the
to
bar.
yourself for 5 minutes.
hanging out, and he was like, "Who do you see?" And you said a woman was at the
Oh,
bar
yeah,
or
yeah.
something. And he roofied her. He put a roofie in her drink. So I cast a spell and made him shit himself at the bar.
Okay, and
That was
then
weird.
that was such,
It's
that was
very
such
weird.
a funny part, though.
I'm
You're like, I cast this spell. What happens? You shit your pants.
He had fallen asleep, and then he shit himself.
Absolute canon from then on.
yeah, it was
okay.
the only time I ever rolled in
Oh, okay. So,
that
spotlight. We'll try and share with everybody. Like, depending on backstory that you guys can write, which I've got some templates to help with that. If you are trying to like figure out your backstory, fill out as much or little of it as you want. You don't have to fill out any of it. You could have no backstory. It's certainly one thing I wanted to change from the last time we played was like I felt like I asked you guys to do too much with your characters, which then created onus on bringing all that into the story. So you can write as much or as little. Steven, I'll pretend to pass some of this to you. I'll just email it to you later.
I appreciate it.
And then that is
We're
that
level 1 characters, you know. Our backstory. We're about to play our backstory.
Yeah, exactly. We're about to make this happen.
Right.
So you can use it. And actually, you know, I could probably email it to you now if I can find it on my drive, Steven. So
There's
I'll
no rush.
Real quick,
Um,
Scott was the one that was ordering food. Does anybody else still want food?
Yeah, definitely. Because I haven't eaten dinner. Now that I'm 3 shots
eat
in, I'm
some.
like, yeah, I should probably eat.
What did you guys want? Did you still want banchan?
Sure, that works for me. As long as you got like some BBQ sauce or something I can dip it into.
Okay.
Perfect. It's like
Yeah, wing,
Korean fried
Korean fried chicken wings.
just order a large amount and then let me know how much I eat.
spicy.
Mao Chow.
You like spicy?
We have pizza in the fridge too. If
give
you
me
guys want
some
pizza,
Like all pizza.
Can you do mid
from
spice?
last night.
Yeah,
Or
I
is
don't,
it
I can do
all?
I don't want
mix.
to blow my
They
head
only
off.
have spicy and not spicy.
I
do
can
a
handle
mix.
spicy.
Okay.
No, you can't. Not
Is it really bad? Okay, then no spice food.
I'll do a mix.
While we're ordering the food, this is an easy question, so Andrew can do it while he's distracted. Do you guys? So like, there's like 2 ways that we can do like describing what happens. Do you guys want narrative control, or do you want me to describe what happens to you? Obviously, we're gonna still do like we've always done, where it's like, you know, like when you make the killing blow, like you describe how you do that part, or like if your character dies, clearly I want you to describe your character's death. I'm not gonna take that from you. But like for different, just for like the normal stuff throughout the game, do you want to roll and then let me describe it, or do you want to roll and then describe it? What's the narrative like?
I'd rather have you describe it because you kind of know what is supposed to happen.
Okay.
And so it's that way you can better lead where the story is supposed to go.
Okay.
Than what we might do, which could also railroad us into something completely different.
Yeah, like alter everything.
Well, and
Yeah.
somewhat
Where you're
somewhat
Right.
off topic, but you know, along the same vein, I think that rather than us asking you when we can make rolls and stuff like that, we should just describe to you exactly what we want to do, and then you tell us what to roll. Like, instead of saying like, oh, you know, can I roll an insight check to see if this guy's lying? I want it to be more like, and this is, you know, just me saying like, I'm observing his eyebrows to see if he's looking to the left and seeing like if he's lying to me. What do I
Yeah.
roll for that?
Yeah, no, I think that's the way I was getting ready to say. Then let's do it like that, where you guys say what your actions are in that space, and then I'll tell you what to roll to see how it plays out. Which
And then
I
you
can
describe what
narrate
happened.
the after.
And then
effect.
you. Sorry, not trying to impose my.
No, that's all good. That's the exact way that I was hoping people would feel. So it works out well. That makes it easier for me because, like Sam was saying, like if you guys are heavy into the narration, then you might say something that changes a trajectory of like what was happening, which could like alter the bigger events that might happen later. So
Right.
it works out well. Okay. Retconning. How do you guys want to do it? Like if I know that I'll screw up at some point through the campaign, probably multiple times. if I misrepresent something and you make a roll or a decision, like when do we retcon? How do we retcon?
I think in the session we do like a little 5 minute of where we might want to retcon, and you make the decision on whether or not we're able to.
Okay.
But I think actions really should be set in stone. If you do some action, there's no retconning. But like, if you say something that might not have been what you wanted to say, or like something like that, like minor actions, then yeah, you can retcon those. But that's at the end of the session when it's still fresh.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm into that. What else do you guys like?
I don't actually know.
As long as you don't swap out Katie Holmes for Maggie Gyllenhaal, we're good.
Yeah, like so, like for example, I might be like, there's you enter a room and there's 2 dire wolves in front of you.
Yeah, pretty cross.
One of these, and then there's I forget to mention that there's also like a giant hole in the floor or something, and then as you move into it, you fall down. Like clearly, we would want to retcon that so that your character's not dead.
Understood.
Yeah, and so that's then we could just like roll back to the beginning and like you walk through the door. There's 2 dire wolves and a giant hole in the floor. And so that way we can solve that. Okay, and then like obviously like we're all gonna joke around the table. So like if you're joking, just kind of like make it clear. Or else like Sam was saying, I do like that idea though that actions should be set in stone. Like once you say it, it is
You're done.
happening.
Like even if you say it offhandedly, like I stab him, and you're like, okay, roll.
Yeah,
And then it's like
that's it.
because that's also gonna help you RP better.
Yeah,
Because you're gonna be
agreed.
sitting there like you're not gonna sit there like flippantly as yourself go up to a cop and be like, I'm gonna stab you.
Yeah.
Kidding.
It's like cool roll.
Yeah, the cop's gonna be like, tase.
You forgot to say in Minecraft.
Oh well, the cop did yell at me, "All
That's
lives matter"
twice.
as he shot me.
Sorry, sir. I mean,
Topical.
Topical. No, he called me George though for some weird reason.
Okay, so it sounds like we probably want to, at least it sounds to me like we want to stay away from like actions that are obvious jokes, unless it's like super clear, like before you do it. Like,
But nothing in D&D is super clear like that. Like you'd be like, "I want to fuck a dragon," and you're like, "Roll on it," and then you fuck a dragon, and then all of a sudden you have a dragon concubine somehow.
And then you're paying dragon child support to your.
Yeah, dragons explored all over the place.
They require a lot of.
I mean, imagine dragons.
Dragon mother.
Yeah. Wow.
Dragon private school, very expensive.
Yeah.
I think it, but man, yeah.
Okay, these dragon jokes are really dragging on.
There we go. There's the pivot. And then let me see.
That's good.
I would say that with actions, like I definitely like the idea of actions being in stone because that's going to cut down on people like joking around
Wait,
and like
who's
see how
actions?
people react. Like
Why are they
you know,
going to be in this?
yeah, I think that we can retcon an action that maybe is something where everyone's like joking, right? Like as long as the player doesn't roll, I'm okay with walking back in action.
Yeah.
As long as it's something that everybody on the table agrees on. But like if one person's like, no, like you said you were gonna go up to the king and stab him in the face. So I think you need to do that because that's not something you can likely mention in passing.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. So we'll just say that as long as they don't roll and the table agrees.
It went to an ad.
yeah, ambiance I'm looking for.
Oh,
Well, here comes our first DMCA strike. Microsoft Grammarly's
All right,
like,
this
hey,
is our
we didn't
ad
tell
break.
you that you could advertise us.
Wait a second. There's an ad. That's why.
Look, we're just here to talk about MeUndies, all right? MeUndies is some great underwear.
It is great underwear.
Tonight's episode.
Wait, how are you guys seeing that? I don't see that.
It's on the projector.
Oh, got you.
Is this still an ad?
Yeah,
Or did it
Andrew's
switch
really
to a
projecting.
fairy tale projector? Oh, Fantasy Village.
I like
It's
it a
been playing
lot.
for 2
Oh,
hours?
those are big pumpkins.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to flip it around.
Oh,
so that
the
I'm behind
bunny.
that.
The bunny's
That'd be really
moving.
Yeah, don't change it. Leave it.
Okay.
The
cool.
bunny's
Yeah,
moving.
this is solid.
Bunny.
Very solid.
All right, guys.
Oh, you can't
it's about
see
halfway.
it. Can you see it?
Huh?
Oh.
No, it's fun.
All right, next one. This is another one.
This one's
that's very
also
simple.
2 hours.
The
I guess I could flip one of the cameras around so we can see what's projected up there.
that's it.
Next comment.
Player versus player action.
Yeah.
I think
That's
it's fine
yeah.
all the time.
As
Yeah.
long as you, yeah.
Player
Always.
what?
You want to
So,
fight
like
another
when you,
player.
So like you do something to one of the other player characters. Like I think it should
Oh.
be
And
always in.
Oh,
I want to interject here and say that given how our last session ended oh so many moons ago, Chris, I want you to have the onus to just say, like, okay, if you guys are really gonna argue about this, then you guys are gonna come to blows about it because obviously you guys are unwilling to yield. Because like there was that time where the party was split and we're like half of them are like, let's get out of here, the other half are like, no, we're gonna fight, and then it
Yeah.
was like we kind of just I don't know. So I
I
think
mean,
that
at some point, yeah, I remember that.
so like at some point we probably just need to say like I don't know, and,
No,
that's
I
your
think
call.
you're right. No, I think that at some point I'm going to say, I think that's actually, dude, that's a great idea. If there's a major argument, like, because yeah, you guys were, it was that time where you came around the corner and saw the black dragon sleeping in the lake, and it was like, all right, what do we fucking do? And some people were like, we need to just leave. We need to go. We need to run and get out of here. And then some people were like, no, let's fight. And it became a real argument at the table. I think then the next step is like, hey, you've argued now for longer than the 60 seconds. Your
Mhm.
characters are now are getting ready to fight. So roll initiative
oh
or
shit.
step down and make
Well,
a
where
choice.
would roll persuasion come into that then?
So I think
We had
that,
failed the persuasion rolls.
yeah. So persuasion.
Oh, so
rolls
then that
can
would the
fail.
next step would then be to fight.
Yeah, so what I'll try to do is limit everything in 60-second windows, and if at that point after 60 seconds you guys haven't resolved your argument, then I'll say roll your persuasions. Whoever has a higher roll would be, I guess, the winner. How would you guys do that? This is something I don't have an answer.
Wouldn't it have to pass the check?
Well, yeah, but so like for
You roll
But if
against
it's
each
What's
other.
a
player-
contested
player-
check, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like-
player versus player, there's no
You roll
check.
against each
So
other.
you would roll your like persuasion against my intelligence or wisdom,
Intelligence, wisdom, yeah.
but
We would roll against each other.
Yeah.
No, you will.
Persuasion?
That's what you would do. You would roll. Well, no, they're trying to persuade you, and your knowledge or foresight or whatever, learning or whatever, is trying to reason with their persuasion. So if there's a major argument, I would just say whoever is the first party that's making the argument would roll persuasion. Whoever is party the second, they would then go on and say, okay, I need to roll I would probably I would say
Probably.
intelligence.
yeah.
So we have to have counter arguments.
Wisdom.
So
I think I would say intelligence versus persuasion.
Yeah, I think that
But
sounds
you got
good.
unwise people, you can't persuade.
we
straight.
wouldn't
That's
do
true.
persuade
Yeah.
versus persuade.
No, because you're not trying necessarily to counter persuade them. It's usually
Morgan, I think you need to roll a persuasion against CT. I think I need
Yeah.
you to roll an intelligence right now.
that's not really,
No, I feel bad because it's like it makes it sound like we're not friends. It's like no, like in character we were arguing about these things. Like half of the party was like very cocksure and
Yeah. Well, in reality, I think the issue is that we are all good friends. And we just want to kind of talk and argue and debate and discuss, and then it's like, oh crap! Well, my character, hasn't been friends with this person for almost 30 years. Like they're just meeting them, and
Yes.
like, yeah. So I think that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be
So-
persuasion
Okay.
versus intelligence,
It sounded like his reason.
and we'll put. I'll just kind of, and you guys can let me know if this is okay. We can do shorter time. I'm okay letting just the table talk argument occur for up to 60 seconds, at which point I'll just pick a party that is the first group, and I'll say roll persuasion, and I'll say to the second person roll intelligence, and then it'll just be a straight check. Whoever wins, wins, and then we move on.
Yep.
Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. I think that solves a lot of the table argument issues. Okay, cool. So we got that one done. We got this one done, which is perfect. Let's see.
I know this is all housekeeping stuff, but it's very important housekeeping stuff.
Oh, agreed, man. No, I agree. I think that one of the reasons I think that to be honest, like that I burnt out on the last session is because I didn't do this, where we all got where I got on the same page with everybody. And so when we were playing, it was just like, oh my god, what is happening? Let's figure it out on the fly. And eventually I was like, I can't consider one
This is
Amen.
like a deep prenup.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is, man. Let me see. Hold on, let me read this real quick so I can make sure
This is
that.
the syllabus.
So first class.
Are we gonna play Who Is Your Daddy and What Does He Do?
Yeah. Who's little daddy? What does he do?
What does he do?
How do you guys feel about
Movie does
applying?
not hold up.
Holy cow.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. How do you guys feel about applying the 3-strike rule that we have for no call, no shows to breaking table rules?
Yes.
Like first time you break it, I'll just kind of give you like the teacher look, like the hey.
Lots of comments.
Yeah. I'm down, like hey, I'll send you the principal's office. We'll go right now. Second time, I'll probably talk to you through text or something, so it's not super confrontational. But like, hey, by the way, not being an asshole. And then third time, I think it's like, hey, dude, like, clearly this is not going to work. Like, see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Okay with that?
Gucci.
Agreed.
Gucci.
3 strikes is really all you need.
3-strike gang.
Or 17 if you need.
If Showmik is still watching, then we would need to have you as a guest player at some point, even if it means just streaming in, because I think that would just be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun.
That could actually be anyone that watches.
Yeah, really. I mean, for sure. I just don't know who else is watching. I just knew that Showmik was
He's
watching.
just on a delay.
That's okay.
But yeah, no, like it'd be awesome if anyone like watched if we ever had more than one person. To like do like a lottery thing, be like of all the names, we pick this one name and then they get to be a guest player.
Hold on 1 second. Scott was messaging me questions about the campaign and be like,
Come
"Are you
to tune
watching?"
in.
Yeah, be like, hey, you're on the stream. You can just like,
Oh, there's a dog. There's a dog.
Puppy tags.
He wants to get down to that. There we go. Oh, I squeezed a fart out of you. Oh, you're sweet. Oh, you're so
Sam,
sweet.
Scott was asking about being as a dolphin. How do you feel about 2 the dolphin?
I love
I keep thinking you're saying dolphin.
it. How
This
does
is an underwater session.
Scott feel like having us being from the same thing?
In the story begins. Let me ask him. Let's see. Hold on. If he's at home, if he is, hold on. I'm gonna do something real quick.
Are those birds in this video?
That's why
Yeah.
I think they are.
They are.
Okay.
You're definitely not in the house.
There's a bird nest on the front porch.
It's going from right there.
Oh, then yeah. It's
There's a bird nest right there.
There's a bird that's in there.
That's what we should call the objective from now on.
bird nest.
Bird nest.
Hey, are you bringing the bird nest with you?
Up in the crow's nest.
You're in a really weird way, like mess with people. Like you're at a party, you're like, all right, man, I'm gonna need the bird nest, the Polaroids, and a lamp. Like these are all like things you like made up for like friends. And I'd be like, oh, sorry, I'm bringing the projector, some candy, and a blanket.
I like it.
But like they're really, it makes no sense why those three things would be together. And you're just
So
like,
why is Polaroids candy?
What are you thinking about on the fly?
yeah. I was just making things up as
You
I
saw a
went.
hole right up there.
I did.
He's
was
like
like,
Kaiser
oh.
Sose over here.
Picture this.
Charlie, Caroline wants to play like as a guest.
She's
player.
making a character right now.
We
Yeah, funny. She was like, I don't know. And then I was like, well, I think we'll do my character like this.
Tell her
She
to
was
turn
just
on the
like,
screen.
Yeah, we could. We could get more views here.
Tell her to do that.
see.
And she
So
can watch.
like, I mean, we've already got plenty of guest stars that can show up, and right now, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, but I'm actually like cross streaming to my own channels as well. So
Oh, cool.
at least for session 0, but after then,
We can do.
that
We
makes me
can.
uncomfortable.
I'm.
I did not give my consent.
I'm happy streaming to whatever.
party consent state.
This is a single party consent state. Sorry, Charlie. Well, and I know that Morgan's with work is going to be in and out, like in periods, so we can bring in guest characters. Like I think it'll be really fun to do all that. Okay, so guest character. You know, all right. So now into like the real game stuff. We're almost done. So hopefully, I'm having fun doing all this. So hopefully you guys are.
I am.
No,
We're like
me
getting
too.
all sorts of like the nuts and bolts stuff done. campaign setting. Is everybody okay with using the homebrew setting that I've got?
Yeah.
And rolling with that?
Kareborum.
Yeah, man.
So we go into the dock, right? Or
Well, that's what we're going to figure out tonight.
oh, okay.
I can't wait to
Because-
meet my old character at some point.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Oh,
Dude, if you don't think that Bruce the Unlucky is going to show up in an inn somewhere in the Reach talking about escaping a black dragon?
oh my God.
I was hoping we would just stumble upon a tombstone and it's
Well, no, because like if you remember at the end of that the last thing that we did was Shomik and by proxy the party pledging allegiance to this black dragon.
Oh yeah.
Who then said, "Cool, I'll be in touch," and slumped away into the water. And we're
Oh
like,
yeah, I forgot.
all right,
about
we'll
that.
pick up next time. And so all those characters are very much still alive in Kareborum. But where they are and what they're doing, we can talk about. We can bring them into stories.
I think that should only be you.
Oh, 100%. I'm not going to let you RP two characters at the same time.
No, like, and you don't even tell us when they're going to come in.
Oh, no, I won't.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
I want that moment where I'm like,
You see a halfling
You
wielding
see-
two crossbows.
you see a halfling walking down the road with two wooden legs and a ginormous bulge in his head.
Oh, should we give you our little if we have them?
If you have them, if that day comes, or if I know that I might bring your character into something where we would need your miniature, I would definitely be like, hey, let me get that from you. But for
Oh,
now,
this isn't the thing.
probably not.
Twite.
Not this one.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away. So, okay, cool. So we'll do
Yours
the
are upstairs.
Kareborum. The larger world is called Brao'Drana or Brao'Drana.
Brao'Drana.
Yeah, Brao'Drana. I have a hand drawn map somewhere.
Are there a lot of Brodegas in Brao'Drana?
There's not a lot of Brodegas in Brao'Drana.
Wait, is Poseidon still the king of the Brodegas?
He's not, but there is a god of the oceans. His
Oh,
name
is
is
there?
not Poseidon.
Look,
Is there a Bohemian Rhapsody that happens?
Actually, yeah.
Is there a Sylvester Stallone that's in there?
No, but that's going to be an NPC somewhere.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. Bro. There we go. Yeah,
would
he's
you be
showing up.
Rambo or would you be Rocky?
He'd be neither.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Did
the same?
Abraham Lincoln free the slaves?
Oh, well, no, this is getting a little bit too real.
Before we forget.
All right, changing the setting name.
Rose and 7 beers ago.
We built the city on bros and hoes.
So, just to correct, it's Brow. It's not Bro Draw.
May I browse the city?
Oh my god! I thought I did it. I thought I switched it up enough. Okay,
Never.
so I think
You can't
Oh,
contain his puns.
Steven, which stream should Scott tune into? Is it the RiverQuest?
Whichever one he prefers. Yeah, tune into RiverQuest for sure. Or Scott. Like, I thought I had it bad, and then he gets, like, family emergency out of nowhere.
Tell him to not forget to smash that like and subscribe.
I don't like it, so that's subscribe button.
What if someone smashed their computer screen and
You
they're
got
like
follow and
sends in an
share.
angry letter like I smashed it, nothing happened. Did you try to unplug it, replug it again?
All right, so
What
let
do
me
you do at your
quick
job?
questions here.
Most of the time.
So, accessibility to magic. We already have a bunch of magic users that are going to be exotic races as well, so I think we're going to have to go with high because
Blast from my fingertips.
it worked out. One thing I will say, and you guys can let me know how you feel about it, I had an idea for higher level access to magic. Like if we decide to continue on past level 10, there's some cool stuff in one of the books, but also in some homebrew material that relates to these things called dragon marks. To access that higher level of magic, beyond level 10 of your character, like once you turn level 10, to access those spells, you would have to complete a quest line that would be for your specific class. Like we have 2 wizards in the group. Those 2 wizards would have to complete a quest with the characters to earn a dragon mark from a particular dragon to gain access to those spells. Is that too much? Too little?
I like that.
Is it okay to have essentially like a quest that that is like training for your spells? So I just feel like with really powerful magic spells, it would be weird to just like, oh, I beat this guy up in a bar. Now all of a sudden I can change the flow of time.
So, my thoughts on that are I like the quest line. But we could also do somewhat like maybe you have a mentor, and one day a week during the campaign you still go to them, and then if it's not that day of the week or hasn't passed, like you have to wait. When you level up, you don't get those spells, those levels, everything like then.
Yeah.
But maybe you go to your either your master, or we would go back to the university, or
So we could just build in like travel time. Where you would
travel
have to
time
go.
where you'd have to go to a place where you would learn this thing.
I'm down with that.
So,
yeah,
Like old school World of Warcraft, where you had to go actually back to town,
Yeah,
talk to a trainer, spend gold or whatever
yeah.
to learn those spells.
And like you could have maybe you're in a remote town and you want to talk to your master to get it. Well, there's a mirror for scrying or something.
Yeah.
So you can do it anywhere, sort of.
Where you can like find it. Okay.
Yeah.
That works for me, man.
Yeah, because what was it? It was when I was
Because you're right, it doesn't make sense.
the cleric or something. And I had that really crazy staff
Oh
that
yeah.
that shot like 3 fireballs out of
Yeah.
it, and I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it was random treasure. It was like, wow, it's that fireball. Crazy.
just like 3 fireballs that shoot everywhere.
So we'd be returning to a master to train with full.
Or just some kind of not in dungeon time to go do something.
Yeah. I still may, if you guys are up for it, I still may incorporate the dragon marks as like a.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like you can do that, or you can have your
It doesn't
master.
have to be a master thing. It could be
Yeah.
a
Well, no,
Yeah.
I'm saying we do both. Like I would say like up through level 10, you just sort of innately uncover spells as your mind sharpens.
well, like you
Then-
got your magic book with you.
Yeah, exactly. But then like you return on your 10th level to your master, and you're like, "Yo, master, ready? Hit me with those new spells." And he's like, "Well, the time has come. You've reached a certain level of expertise. Now you must traverse the Dragonfine Mountains and speak with, Ongut, the bronze dragon. He will bestow upon you the mark of the Chronomagus if you're Scott. And from then you can do all these really powerful spells or whatever."
Could you also, if you're going to those dragons, it's like I'm going to be a wizard, right? Well, what
Well,
if
that's up to you.
right? Yeah, that's why I said it. I'm going to be a wizard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So what if I don't want to have access to any of my level 18 spells? Could I then use that slot to like make my chaos blast that much stronger? Is that something you can do anyways? Because like if I use my chaos blast at a level 20, is that now a level 20 spell? Because if that's the case, how would that even like go forward?
I don't really answer that question. That's a good question.
That is an oddly specific use case.
I think if we get to that level,
Yeah.
where we're worrying about that, I think we'll have a better grasp of
Yeah.
like the magic system. But at this point, I would say that beyond level 15, to access those higher levels of magic will require significant gold, resource, and time investments. Because becoming such a power at that point, like becoming that powerful of a wizard, where you can literally reverse death and like do all the crazy stuff that is in the top end of the spell book, like I think that's going to require some more stuff.
Yeah.
So for now, I would say let's cross the bridge when we get there. But I don't mind the idea of being like, well, I don't want to learn, these 2 level 18 spells. Can I change this other stuff?
Right.
And we could homebrew that a little bit and figure out how we do it without breaking the numbers.
Yeah.
But like I said, right now I don't have an answer.
Cool. No worries.
It's a good question though. It's
Going-
to think about.
Going off of Sam, this might be a stupid question, but are we allowing multi-classing, or are you the class you are?
I'll open it up to the table. What do you guys want to do? I don't think that it's
Multi-class.
I personally believe you can't move between classes you want.
Lilu Dallas multi-class.
Yeah.
Hey, guys,
What'd you say?
Oh, I was just making a bad joke.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
multi-class.
I think it depends. I think I would yield to you, Chris, on specific multi-class cases, because if it's like I'm a sneaky rogue that now all of a sudden wants to suddenly wake up one day as a sorcerer, then I think that, you could probably put the kibosh on that. But like, if someone that then wants to switch to like a warlock, and it's like, well, we met this demon patron that,
Yeah.
I'm going to swear my allegiance to. That's like a different kind of story,
I think that's a really good idea, man. I think that's what we're gonna do. I think that with multi-classing, there's going to have to be some type of like
A lore component.
Yeah, like an RP/lore piece that it has to make sense. Like Andrew, you're a monk. If you go with this character, you're a tabaxi monk who's like a sailor. You're not gonna go onto the land and then all of a sudden be like, well, now I'm a
Barbarian.
Yeah, now I'm a barbarian. It's like,
But you could be a rogue swashbuckler.
you could be a rogue. You could be a monk rogue, and that would fit. Like, where you're
Are there even barbarians in the setting, or are they brobarians?
Bro-barians. This is going to be a group you come across in a bar who you
Wait.
like very much.
Do we
No, we're not barbarians.
They're just a bunch of scousers.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So using that
I think
as an
that's-
example to fit into that, my monk, I'm not going to do this, but there would be an ability to say, like, I saw an entity as a sailor as a justification for moving into warlock or something, or
It'd have to be
cleric.
a very like you saw the Kraken or something.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be like, oh, I saw a book. It's like, we were at sea and getting ready to go down, and an old god appeared to me and said, "You have two choices: death or allegiance."
Yeah, or
then
similar, like I was
Like my
about to
lady.
die,
Yeah,
and I prayed
like
to
you're the god that showed up and switched you.
on
Yeah,
you
so-
or whatever, and he spared me, so now I'm a cleric.
It could be something like that, yeah. And again, it would be if you knew that you were thinking of that, like where you wanted to multi-class, we could chat and we could say like which class are you thinking of, and then we could work in story and lore elements to it to allow you to make that kind of pivot. But when we talk, I would want to keep it pretty like tight to be like, hey, this is a really cool idea, but there's just no way I can work that into the arc that we're in right now without being a total like suddenly. So I think
What did
yeah.
I go from?
you went from there was like a
A
homebrew
mage.
battle mage that you were running
Yeah,
that was like really
He was just a
confusing.
cleric.
Yeah, and then we were like, no, then we can simplify this, and that's when we had you have your like near-death experience in the cave with the ice office, and then you were like, oh, I saw the light, now I'm a cleric, and that was fine. And that was not even multi-classing, that was like legit class swapping.
Yeah, I'm changing
Yeah.
plates.
Yeah, which is okay, especially in the first few levels. Like, if I know, like Scott and Sam right now are talking about different types of characters. If you end up starting it and you're like, maybe not, then we can talk about switching those out, or having your characters leave and you coming back in with new ones, or whatever. That'll be a conversation for when we get there.
All right.
But I think you guys will like your characters if you keep them the way that they are.
I think I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I like already the ideas that so.
Yeah.
All right. Environments. So in the run, which I'm going to play around with that name a little bit, maybe add some flavor to it. But the run, think medieval, high medieval England is really what we're starting in, just because that's
Like Tudor houses,
yeah, actually,
like a Knight's Tale.
yeah, very much
like
so.
that.
That happened to be the unit of study that we were in school at the time I started making all this stuff up. So I was like, this works. We're pre-industrial age, so no trains or steam factories or any steampunk that you know of, at least right
There's
now.
water wheels.
There's
love
water wheels.
wheels.
And that's not to say that
Water wheels?
steampunk doesn't exist in the world.
Like for
It's
women,
just that
for
in
males.
this region that you're starting in,
Mills.
there's not any type of
Steampunk
that type of
outfits with water
technology.
wheels.
So it's think like high medieval technology. So pretty much everything prior to the invention of steam. With that,
We-
if there's any like
Horse and carriages.
Yeah,
Some really
horses and
cool things are gonna
carriages,
happen.
some very cool things are gonna happen. But
What
like I
about
said,
muskets?
so they're in the reach. There is an
Hand cannons, so they're very
yeah.
rare.
So think like
Not the Lunderbuss.
think
A
like
blunderbuss.
not even that far advanced. Think like
Literally a cannon.
like literally a cannon that you hold that you have to light, and then it just
Princess
it's a
Mononoke
one-time use. Yeah, the Princess Mononoke cannons, where you light it and then it's boom, and then it's done, and then you can't use it anymore. But I can tell you that at least in the part of the reach that the run that you're starting in, you're not going to see those from anybody in that town or in the surrounding villages.
Is it kind of just going to be more like military defense systems? So like cannons exist, and they're barely making their round into infantry.
Not in the run.
Like it would have to be like elite soldiers. Like you would only see that if you're fighting the main king's army.
Yeah, which the main capital of Kareborum is not in the run. So there are major cities in the run, but this type of technology is reserved for like the top 0.1% of elite soldiers that would only be in the capital. So you would not see a hand cannon in the run unless it was like stolen or old and decrepit, like some type of like antique version that barely works. So use at your own risk if you did come across it.
Okay.
Okay, so technology we got. So I think we already talked about this, but let me just hit on it real quick. Themes, like I think it's pretty much an adventure theme that we're going for.
Coming of age tale.
Coming of age tale. When the young tabaxi first found his penis.
or more appropriately, a coming of mage tale.
Hey,
I bet that's a porn.
I also have at least some ideas for some kind of political intrigue. Hence if you watch the intro little funny video that I put together, hence the Reigns of Castamere at the end of that. I have some.
Who are you?
Reigns Castamere, but sing it, don't sing it.
Why can't for me to bounce a lot.
Keeps going. So I can tell you at least that in the town,
We should be here in about 10 minutes.
Oh, I forgot that.
The priest, this guy goes, he's watching on one of Steven's channel, and all he said was Brobarians.
I think there's a significant delay from what they
That's okay. No, that's good. So I can tell you at least that in like the town that you're starting in, there are some significant political forces at play that pull against each other that you will, just in the course of normal play, quickly get pulled into. And you can't help but do that because this the starting town, since we're into this setting and stuff now, this starting town of Lund, 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 is kind of woven itself into sort of a thick web of itself. So as you come into town, even if you're an outsider, it's hard to not all of a sudden become pulled into the sort of political machinations that occur within the town. We have.
Oh yeah, we gotta start.
No, I won't start because people don't want to take notes right now, so it's okay. The starting town is called Lund. If we go with that, I can tell you that there are plenty of political things to talk about with it. We can get into that tonight. I can do my town description for you and tell you all about Lund and like how it's gonna, like those parts of it, and I can tell you a little bit more about it.
I feel like it would be nice if you gave us a quick one on that, because then I can, in my head, see how my character got there. Like,
You want to hear it real quick?
just like a quick one, because then I can like say, well, this is how my character showed up. Like, I'm not on the boat right now.
No, I got you. Okay, so
In about 10 minutes.
So that's 2 minutes.
How long are them sausages?
10 minutes. You said 5 minutes. 2 minutes ago.
Well, we need a new
Yeah, the beginning of our first session will be like the beginning of Morrowind. Is like, oh, good, you're awake.
Yeah.
You were dreaming pretty hard.
I might do that now just for fun. I think that'd be really funny.
Oh my god, I
Oh,
can't wait
good.
for your voice.
Here comes the card.
Let's go. Oh, sorry, I don't have that on my screen yet.
Oh, shit, that's the
This
10
may be-
minutes. Guy's about to be here. Probably within like 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
About to turn into the
Give
neighborhood.
me a second. I just have to share all these things with my notes. I did something. Well, I may not have it on here.
Caroline's watching too.
Oh, yeah?
She's got it on her main TV.
Oh,
So her and the
nice.
dog.
Hi, Caroline.
Hey,
Hey, Caroline!
Hi, Caroline.
Yeah,
There's
Pure.
also Bruce, not Bruce, Panda.
Hi, Panda.
All right.
Hey,
So as of right now,
Take these.
Yeah.
this is very much a work in progress. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Did you already take yours?
Oh yeah, I did. I thought I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Do you want another one?
Yeah, man, hit it.
Let's retcon that.
Retcon that shot. Okay, so I'll pass the map around, but please don't like go anywhere else in the OneNote because there's a lot of like story stuff in there. So
Also, don't rotate. Because rotate
Okay,
will
yeah.
reset the zoom.
We'll have your drink.
Oh yeah.
To the Brobarians.
to the Barbarians! Oh my god, they're definitely making an appearance somewhere in this.
Okay, I got it.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Doing the exact opposite of you guys.
Hey,
And
I'm
I'll
drinking
let you
water.
guys pass the map around, and I'll read through all the stuff about the story.
That,
Or, I'm sorry, about the town.
what you just did, I'm doing the exact opposite.
Yeah, I think Charlie's right. I think if I kind of talk about the town you're starting in, then you may have a chance to kind of like sort out how you want your character to get there. So
Now,
one thing to keep in mind is just that
I was gonna say, is that like it for like the kind of housekeeping stuff, and then like, do you want to use this as our opportunity to start getting into character talk, since you're gonna be kind of detailing the world a little bit more?
so there's a couple more things that we do need to go over. I just figured I'd show the map real quick, and then we'll finish up the housekeeping, and then we'll get into the
Okay.
story, character, setting, and really dive in. But
Sweet.
since folks are asking about the setting, I figured I'd show off the map real quick. The one thing about the map is just because we're limited with the size on Incarnate, and still being able to see things, that it's representative. It's certainly not like this is all of the like buildings that are in town, but all the major ones are marked and all that stuff. So
Okay.
a little starting town of Loon.
Here, I'll zoom in for the.
Yeah, there we go.
Are we rolling our characters tonight?
Do you
Yeah, man.
want to look at it?
The goal is for by the end of the night for everyone playing, we have our characters rolled, some backstory written, but really as much as you want to tonight.
The cat.
And then after that, it's just, we'll talk about some things, answer some questions, and then we'll schedule session 1 for not this next Friday the 3rd, but the one after, because we have a game next Friday, and I wouldn't be able to make it. So that would be really bad. If I was like, next Friday, never mind, I can't make that one. So we'll do like the 10th, I think would be the first day.
Yeah. And if that's more feasible for everybody to do every other Friday instead of every Friday, I mean, whatever.
I mean, especially once I'm done with school, then every Friday is perfectly fine.
I work like every other.
Well, you're off next Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll share the map. I'm gonna set up some different stuff with you guys. I'm gonna create a player's notebook either on OneNote or on or like Google Drive or something so that you guys can see all that stuff and have access to it. And then that way, like on a night like tonight where we have technology where like my tablet doesn't connect to Andrew's projector, we can hook up someone else's laptop and we can project like the world map onto it.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, when we're at my place, you don't even have to bring the projector. I'll have that big TV set up.
Yeah. Okay, so while we're looking at the map, we can also do some housekeeping stuff here. Okay, so we got that one. We're good there. Okay, so the major threat. I already have what would you call it? A BBEG or whatever from the OG campaign that we never obviously got near, that I plan on using again. I don't want to give away any details about him, but I'm willing.
BBEG, big bad evil guy.
Yeah, the final dude in the whole campaign. Are we okay with you? Or are you guys okay with me using him without giving too many details away?
Yeah.
Don't give any details away.
In a general sense.
Yeah. What would be commonly known in the world of him, yes. We can make our own assumptions on what we think of it.
Cool, thank you.
I like how the center is a tree.
Oh yeah.
A big tree.
Caroline says
That's-
one. Caroline
Oh, yeah,
says
some
one
backstory.
note. OneNote. Wow,
That's
what a
like that.
teacher. Literally my thought exactly. I'm like, this motherfucker's using OneNote.
Dude, I fucking love OneNote. It's so great, man.
It is.
Okay, so I'll have this ready to go so we can chat about it.
It looks like these are mixed together.
Oh,
Should be
no.
boneless and bone-in. So in fries.
Edamame.
I'll just let you throw whatever on channel.
It's up to you.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's up to you. Then that way I can keep them under the
Unless
list.
it's.
No, it's ready.
Let you
Oh,
take
I
a
see.
nice little
I see
bit.
how
It's
you
spicy
did it.
and
Can you just
That's
throw
how
me some
I did it.
randos on there? I'm gonna put it.
Ooh, spicy for me, please.
spicy one.
No, it's
No.
That's the
No spicy for you.
It's divided in the middle.
We'll take a little breaky poo here while we pass out some rubber grubs.
Did you get a plate?
Yeah.
Do you have a plate?
Somebody?
What is this spicy?
I get
No, it's a mixture. There's the
These are the
boneless.
spices.
Those
Oh,
are bone-in.
Bone in,
So
but
it's
spicy, no
just,
spicy, or spicy, no spicy.
I don't know.
Uh,
It's
grab
pretty
two
similar.
I would like
Yeah, I guess
2
I'm
no
I'm regretting
spicy.
one of them already.
Or 1 no spicy. And
I'm regretting this already.
This side's spicy.
Yep, figured that out.
Okay, there we go.
Session 0 sponsored by Bonchon.
No, I would like a non-spicy and
Available in select cities.
The bone-in over there.
Yeah, sure.
I think, is this no spicy?
I don't know. So many times.
I'm pretty sure
One
this
is
is no
bone in,
spicy.
Try
one
it
is no
first.
bone. I don't know what the division is.
But you want to grab some
That's no spicy.
home
You
malt.
want to grab that one.
Cool. I'll grab that one and
Like
1
ketchup,
bone in.
barbecues, all that.
What this is.
Which
Oh,
one's
man.
not spicy?
Yeah, because the one that's like redder and wet, it's spicy.
That's what she said.
There you go.
This is. That's what she said.
Oh, this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Eric Idle at least says.
Oh, they're so bad.
I think it's the dryer too.
Thanks.
Try to avoid that spice.
So. It's not too bad.
Poopy.
For spice.
There you go. And this is all I need.
You want some edamame?
No.
Oh,
No.
Whoa.
wait, this is.
What are you
yeah,
doing?
mayo. This is spicy mayo. And then these are ranch.
But
Got you
I
an orange?
only got 4
Or
Stack and
yeah, I might do like one of these.
That's not
All right, so
it's very exciting. Everyone getting their food stuffs.
yeah,
Thank
Oh,
you.
I'm
some,
sorry.
some high quality stream.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, some people stream themselves sleeping. I think that we're doing a little bit better than that.
There you
Maybe Bonchon will
anybody need
sponsor
napkins?
go. Yeah, yeah.
There's-
I know.
I'll just grab both.
Yeah. No, it's, I told you, dude. It's not an enjoyable spice.
Oh, did you get a spicy one? Oh no.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think just from talking.
Give me just a moment.
No, thank you.
Nope.
No, thank you.
You said something.
Oh, by the way.
No RC.
Fries?
No, thank you.
You can come back and
I'm actually trying to be better about my studying. I've been very bad about it.
Smart.
Yeah.
There's edamame there if you want to not eat fried chicken then.
Yeah, but that also has sodium on it.
Much less than fried chicken.
I know, but I'm gonna nibble on this or take it home and have one night, one tomorrow.
Makes sense. Cutting out sodium is fucking impossible in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we can actually have a lot more than we think, but we can't have nearly as much as we do.
You know what's really frustrating? If you get a salad from Panera, it still has like 600 milligrams of sodium.
Ranch or the dressing.
Yeah, well, and feta and olives. Like, even when I cut it down to nothing but lettuce, it still had like
They have
100 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah.
It's like salt water to keep it, or it's just salted to keep it from spoiling. It's
Yeah,
quick.
I try
Oh,
to
I
stay
missed
away
food
from
talk.
anything frozen now.
Who, has anyone brought up Monsanto yet?
It's got electrolytes.
how would you guys feel about? Well, no, never mind. We'll just do.
Fuck, I had to grab a beer while I was in there.
Can you grab me one?
What do you guys think about instead of
Chris, Charlie, you want to be here?
Yeah, sure.
Is that you with ginger ale?
No, I got water. Thank you.
We could do next Saturday as session 1, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that way,
Oh shit.
then you're in. Like, not tomorrow. Next Saturday.
I think we're going to visit Hike and Kelly before she has the surgery.
Yeah, we'll just wait and we'll do it
I actually
on.
got this really cool tea.
No,
Sorry, I didn't mean to
no, you're
interrupt
fine.
you.
You didn't.
Next weekend we're going to see Hike and Kelly, right?
Okay, yeah, so that we
That's-
Oh,
I was here.
Is that-
I bet you one more.
All right, so we'll keep it original plan and do the 10th, 11th. What is that? That Friday? It's the 10th, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we shouldn't, like, if we decide to change, like, we can do that afterwards. We don't have to, like...
I'm so sorry. My schedule's solid.
I've got this
No,
really
you're fine.
cool
We'll
tea
plan
that
now
you
for the
like.
11th.
Yeah.
That Friday. And that'll be session 1. That gives me plenty of time too to build everything out and be really ready for a fun session 1, which is always good.
Sweet.
That'll be good. Yeah, we'll plan for the 11th being the first session, and then kind of go from there and try to start with once a week and go and see if we can do it. That'd be fun. So I'm guessing. Be like, yo, hospital, I can't make it. I'm sick. I know it's ironic, but I'm staying home.
Whatever you do, don't watch YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you do,
Don't watch it.
avoid these web addresses specifically unless you're subscribing, and then subscribe. But
And
I
smash that like.
I have a twin. Just letting you know. All right, so I think we're still kind of sorting out food and everything, so we'll kind of chill out for a second and then wait for Sam and Charlie to come back and then pick up on housekeeping stuff. But some of these we can. I mean, I know how you guys probably want to play, and this won't be official yet, but just since you guys are here, my guess is that we want to make the story fairly non-linear and allow for exploration and not like railroading onto everything. Or do we want to? I know that we have a window of time that we're going to work within, but I feel like we want to stay fairly like maybe not necessarily sandbox totally, but at least the story isn't set up with these like checkpoints along the way. Like I have all the big like story points in my head that I want to cross and when to cross them and all that. But like I think that non-linear is okay. Like actions can dictate how and when you come across the various checkpoints. Like if I have an NPC I want you to talk about, it doesn't matter if you break into his house, meet him at the bar, meet him in a back alley fight, help him out with something. Like we can work all that in, so it doesn't necessarily have to follow this like quest line progression. So are you guys okay with non-linear, or we already have the
handle
time
it. That's
frame?
tough on the DM. I'm down.
We'll start with it, and if I feel like I'm starting to get kind of pulled in too many directions, then I'll just
Yeah, just having the NPC characters like you should go that way.
hey guys, weird to see you here, but I know this other dude, and he really wants to see you. He's that way. Oh, by the way, the rest of the town burned down.
Well, that's the thing, is you can always create a sense of urgency, like, hey, you remember that NPC that you were supposed to go talk to? Well, he's dead now.
Yep.
Because you took too long. Like,
Yeah, I agree, man.
Sorry to go back to a topic from a few minutes ago. You said that the next session would be scheduled on the 11th. Would it be possible to do it on the 12th so Morgan could join?
That's
Are
Saturday.
you okay?
Yeah.
On Saturday?
Let me check it here.
like I said, I'm comfortable with, like, we can figure out when that first session's going to be. We don't have to set that in stone, because I know with Scotty not here, we're only getting like the occasional text that's like, what about this day? What about this day?
Barbarians.
Barbarians! Bro Knights!
So so we can definitely look at the 12th and see if
You just hear a
or
bunch of natty
that
ices
Saturday.
cracking.
Okay.
That's the salute.
What's they call it instead of shotgunning?
Crossbowing.
Crossbowing.
Crossbow this mead, bro.
Crossbow.
Fireballing.
Oh my god.
Yo, fireball this beer, bro.
This
Oh my
mead
God.
isn't some mead.
Oh my god.
I can't wait to make the Barbarians.
That
I
was
don't know where
great.
they're going
That
to
was
show up.
great.
It's gonna be so good. This is gonna
Barbarians
be-
are definitely showing up.
Can I
Okay.
be their leader, and can they only speak in puns?
Yeah, sure. We'll figure that out.
I feel like the first part is up for debate. The second part is understood.
Yeah.
Like just by their name.
Yeah.
All right, so then we already decided level 1. I guess we're going to continue how we've always done with minis and tokens rather than theater of the mind, where we have like battle maps and characters that we can move around and things like that. For that.
Sure.
Yeah, especially if we're streaming, the more
That's what I
physical
figured.
objects, the better.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then,
Visual aid.
so the last part thing here, at least in the campaign framework kind of section, is just discussing how characters are connected to each other, the NPCs in the setting, and we'll do that when we roll up characters after we describe the town and let you guys decide how you want to be associated with it. I know that Scott and Sam have already talked a little bit about their characters and what they're thinking. I know that Andrew's got some ideas, and the three of them kind of really synergize well for early story stuff. But the second part of tonight will be all about rolling characters, going through books, talking about what's possible. I think in the sort of couple emails I sent out to everybody just about like what was going down, it was like, hey, let's stick to basic stuff and let's stick to basic classes. And it's like now, it's like, if we have ideas that flow well together, then we can build in all the transitions that need to occur for those more sort of exotic ideas to happen with these races like the Verdalkin.
Ask it if you wanted one.
Verdalkin.
Isn't that it? Right? Verdalkin?
Hadouken.
It's
Yeah,
Verdalkin. It's dolphin.
Verdalkins, yeah. The Verdalkin. So
We never win any games.
I'm sorry, I'm only being able to see you guys as dolphins.
I'm gonna make so many original Ace Ventura quotes when talking about the Verdalkin.
No, look up the character on BoJack, Delfina Aquafina.
Delfina Aquafina. That's funny. Okay, cool. So then, last little questions here, guys. You just ask little things.
Stinkmeyers.
So,
What was it?
character statistics.
Ventura. Finkel is Einhorn.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Ray
Finkel
Finkel.
is Einhorn, and Einhorn is Finkel.
Finkel, and I.
Yeah.
And they're all like,
Homophobia was funny.
Exactly, it was funny.
In the future, I will go to intermission while we eat.
Yeah.
It's
like you
Is that supposed to be a
I'm, like,
comment on us?
trying to fight the chicken so hard.
Oh,
Yeah, you're the producer of the video. That's not on us, man.
I've got mine here
I thought
too.
I thought that was like a cake or something.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought it was a cheesecake.
I
When
thought
I
that
figured it out.
was like a meringue. I'm like, wow.
What
You're
is
going
that?
fancy.
Tacos? And the tacos?
Yeah, some tacos.
Homemade, or where'd you get them from?
Oh, homemade. Yeah, I've been slow cooking chicken all day. You guys don't even know.
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail the conversation.
No.
No, this turned into a podcast about tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
chicken.
gonna talk about it.
See,
Well,
now if we were to cut up some banchan and throw it on a taco, that's
Everybody just glanced over that. That was
I
great.
know.
What did you say?
Call it the food truck. Yeah, the taco
Who are there
podcast
food trucks in this
is
world?
the food truck.
I like it.
Have you been to El Pinche Tacos or Los Pinches Tacos?
That's
No.
really good.
It's a food truck right up the street, across from the 7-Eleven, right before Broad Street. It's fantastic.
for those of you in Richmond.
All right,
If
so
you
last
also
little
want
bit-
good
Yeah,
tacos,
get them
go to El Cheeto. El Cheeto is really great.
Shit. No, RC, you can't have
So
tacos.
you come out there, you get shit.
So,
Okay, so
Oh, God.
Not El Cheeto.
All right, so,
Okay,
hey, so
okay, so
our house rules, whatever we call them.
So yeah, lay us some house rules.
Well, these are up for discussion. That's why we're going to kind of go through this real quick. We already got leveling up. We know we're doing milestone. Increasing hit points. Do you guys want to do them as rolled, as written, take a maximum so you're always like bumping health way up? How do you guys want to do as we level up the increasing your hit points?
I would take a maximum. So if your roll's higher, you take it. Otherwise, you take the net, like whatever.
So
Whatever's
you would-
higher.
Okay.
What if we make a 3/4 compromise?
Yeah.
Which is to
Oh, I
say,
like that.
instead of taking the maximum, you take the 3/4 of your hit die. So if your hit die is an 8, you take a 6. If your
agreed.
hit die is a 10, you take an
I like it.
7, 8.
Yeah,
But you're never below the minimum, right?
Yeah, but
So,
you never
yeah.
like.
So you're never you're not even below 50%. You're going to be at 75% of
still
your max
roll.
HP.
So it's like the Swiss cheese version of cheesing it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's just my idea. What do you guys think?
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Because we could still roll the
Let's
hit die.
choose it.
Because I think maximum is like, that's a
Now
little.
you can start to strip it out pretty quick. So yeah, we'll do 3/4 of that. So in that idea, Stevens, I really like it. You don't roll anything. You just look at what your hit die would be and then take.
So, we got some
75%
raspberries if you want
right.
low salt.
That's what I would do. Is just like not even roll.
That's what I was thinking.
You want me to grab them or you got them?
That's what I make sure so that we weren't rolling stuff and then taking 75%
Don't
of
want
the
strawberries too?
people ending up with
Strawberries are bad.
No, you don't want to take 75% of your roll, especially if you roll like a 2.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what I was like, well, I could go bad for some folks.
But it saves
alright.
people from getting like 2s and 1s. But nobody's just like getting constant 12, 12, 12.
Yeah, which but neither one is perfect. And I think it was someone in our group in the last campaign when we leveled up rolled super low on hit points, like 2 or 3 times in a row. Yeah, it was Hogarth McNarty. It was like
Hogarth.
you're
Hogarth was very
like,
squishy.
Yeah, it ended up being a super squishy bar.
It's like, we're level 5. Why do you only have 25 hit points?
Like, hold on a second. This doesn't add up. It's like, well, let me tell you a story about my dice that didn't line up the way I thought they would. All right, we'll just continue on.
Yeah.
When we're building out our characters tonight, do you guys want to do point buy, rolling, just standard builds? My guess is that folks are going to want to either do a point buy system or a rolling system. So I think with point buy, and Steven, correct me if I'm wrong, with point buy you have like essentially like a pool that you start from, and you have to allocate into your various abilities.
Yeah, I believe it's 72 points.
Yeah, or you could roll, which could end up with like really awesome stats. You could also roll and end up with really crappy stats.
I kind of like the 0.5 because you could, but then like, could you load up on one?
I guess you could. I don't think there's like with point buy. I don't think there's like a cap.
Is there like a cap of like 4 points or something?
Well, you can. So you cap out. Obviously, you can't max out your stats. I think it's 18 is what is the max you can buy.
Yeah,
but then 20 is the max you can have. So it's not even like. Yeah.
I think if Sam, if your player's handbook is already open, or Joe, you can look into like, can you guys just look up the difference between point buy and rolling? You might just know off the top of your head, Sam. I just can't remember right now.
Wait, what's the question?
For like when we're setting up our character statistics, we were discussing whether we wanted to do a straight roll so that you could end up with really crap statistics. Hey, Mr. Man, what are you doing up there? You can't have no chicken. Sorry, everybody who couldn't see the cat on the table, that probably sounded really weird.
Yeah.
That's how hey, you can't have any chicken.
Well, that was when my wife was bringing me dinner. Like the dogs were trying to buck the plate out of her hands.
Now,
okay, so with point buy versus rolling, what's the like pool number for the point buy? Do you remember? Is it standard for everybody?
One moment.
I don't remember what the pool buy is, but I've always been a fan of because you keep the top. When you roll, you keep the top 4, right? Or top 3.
Is that Scott?
It might be the top. I think when you roll it all out, it's like the top 4.
Yeah, because you roll 5, and you get the top 4. Yeah. And 3 roll 1 and 2.
So Scott says, got Scott on here, that with the point buy you can max yourself out, but then obviously you're gonna lose, like you're gonna be shooting yourself in the foot with other ability scores.
You say that, my constitution is sick.
I was gonna say max constitution does sound pretty good right now.
Yeah, with coronavirus and everything, that makes
True.
sense.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, point buy sounds good to me. Like if you guys are open to it.
Say it again, Steven.
Oh, okay. Well, Scott says he prefers a roll because it's a little more organic. It's a little more random. I think that if we roll, but then we're allowed to choose what ability scores we go into, that way we're not like just rolling straight strength dex.
Mm-hmm.
Agree with that.
That's what I was gonna say.
And then I personally am a fan of re-rolling 1s.
There you go.
I'm fine with that.
There we go. Reroll ones, rolling.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right,
Now
so,
I'm gonna throw out an idea for you.
Go ahead.
Because this might blow your guys' mind. I actually heard this today on my Discord server. Shout out to Jagan.
Wow.
How do you guys feel about rolling 5d4s instead of 4d6s and drop the lowest?
I like that. I like that better.
I think that's pretty cool.
So you can only have a max of 16, but your minimum is way higher than 3d1 or 3 1s, right? Like your
I think
minimum.
you can do that.
Well, yeah, it's one higher.
Personally, I don't like that.
I don't do math very well.
Yeah, but I'm gonna end up alone. We have a split table.
Oh no! I will break it. I didn't hear what happened.
Scott
Alright,
says the
So
trade-off
for
isn't
rolling,
worth it.
rolling for skills, traditional is 4d6s. The amendment proposed is 5d4s.
Oh wow, there's a huge
So-
in chat.
Amendment.
Video.
So
I
allegedly,
bet.
the floor is raised,
To get more rolls.
and also allegedly the cap is lowered.
Yeah, so it just it more averagely distributes out the numbers. Scott says he's not in favor of that.
I don't
I'm
think
in
it averages.
I go down.
Averages out that way because if you're rolling 44, if you're rolling 5d4s with 4, then the average is going to be 8, wouldn't it?
Math is hard, so I don't know.
Honestly, let's just keep with the original and just
This is
re-roll them
fine.
once. We can be beefed up.
I like
my
my first year's character statistics.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
It's not necessarily beat up. It's more likely to be above average. Like I don't want to start my character on.
Yeah, let's go by the book and
Yeah, I think that the right call then is to do kind of what Sam was saying, is a straight roll using the sort of original rules, but you can
re-roll ones.
You roll like a 1, so just so your character is completely hampered in that department. You can re-roll a 1, but
You
if
still do the
roll-
drop the lowest though, right?
Well, yeah, but if you re-roll a 1, that 1 stays.
Yeah.
Like if the fates decide that your strength is a 1 because you roll it twice in a row or whatever, then it's a 1.
Yeah. That checks out.
Or whatever you decide to put that 1 in. Like you're gonna be, weak, slow, dumb, or confused all the time. But that feels
It's not ever going to be 1. The lowest it could ever possibly be is 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Because you
roll
roll
3 die, 4 die.
4 die, drop the lowest.
Well, right. But like,
So the lowest it could ever
but you can
possibly be is
re-roll.
3.
what if you have 2 1?
If you re-roll a 1,
As you
roll
can tell, this is all liberal arts people around this table.
Yeah, so 3.
Yeah, we all agree.
What's
I'm just saying you can never have a strength of 1.
No, you just have a 1 die.
They're
Yeah.
just debating about whether or not we drop the if we re-roll ones, you take whatever the next number is, right? Like,
Mhm.
is that fair to
So
you?
if you roll 2 6s and a 1, you
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah. Scott's in.
Perfect. That's
If you're in one variable, it would already
what
work.
the argument is.
I mean, this is
So like if you roll your 4d6 and you drop the lowest and you even in those 3 you still have a 1, you re-roll the 1. If you
And
roll a
take whatever you
1,
get.
yeah, if you roll a 1 after rolling a 1, you take the 1.
then you take the 1. Yeah.
What's the counter argument?
I
What do
don't
you
think
mean?
anyone
Counter.
There isn't one.
No,
Yeah.
nobody has a counter argument to it.
Yeah, no counter arguments here.
Yeah,
The lowest-
It seems a little like trying to maximize your stats, but I'm okay.
no, it's just trying not to minimize it.
Yeah. It's not
Well, you're
maximizing,
already-
it's trying
you're
not to
already
minimize.
Dropping the lowest.
Good
True.
spin.
Look, either way, the floor is 3. The lowest you could ever get is 3. Either way.
All right, I'm gonna need a persuasion roll from Spud, and I'm gonna need a intelligence roll from Scott. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think I mean,
Oh,
No, we're rolling.
yeah.
Hit it.
No, I'm just,
I don't
I'm
agree.
just
It's just
playing
a-
you guys. It hasn't been 60 seconds of arguing yet. But
you're not even mad about it.
All right, I rolled a 12.
you don't even have stats to add to it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just 12.
That's the 12.
Yeah, he doesn't have any persuasion skills.
Scott has to outroll everybody though.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, Scott said he's
Um,
okay with it. He
yeah,
said that
what is-
he it sounds like a little min maxy, but it's not bad. I mean,
It's
all
soft,
things considered,
yeah.
especially if you roll 2 1s, like you're.
Yeah,
We're
then
following the book,
it is
right?
what it is. Yeah, following the book, we'll roll straight, and then you can re-roll any ones you get. But if you get that second one, so it's part of the mix. That's
Yeah.
Would it be
So
the compromise if you roll a 6, it doesn't count? So then that way you
No,
can go from.
already moving on.
Tell Scott.
Yeah,
I can't hear him.
Scott, we can't hear you, so your comment is erroneous.
Well, everything you guys are saying, he's hearing like 20 seconds later. So,
Oh, yeah.
so he suggested, what about if you roll a 1 and you re-roll that 1, and you roll a 6? Do you have to re-roll the 6 because then you're basically going from a 1 to a 6 overnight?
Yeah, stop arguing.
Then you're just a lucky dude.
Then you're just a lucky dude. That's the.
And you are the luckiest of dudes.
It's basically applying the luck roll or the luck feat to rolling.
Your
So
locations. I get it.
Well, and like, you know, there's different versions of accounting for rolling bad. Like one of the things, like my house rule is always nobody's allowed to have lower than an 8. So it's like you don't re-roll 1s, but if you roll lower than an 8, you just get an 8, right? But I think that this is a little more randomized. So, and I like randomized.
Follow up to that point. Are we doing that?
No. I think if you get lower than an 8, even rolling 1s and stuff, then you take the lower than an 8.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was like 9.
Yeah, we can have low numbers.
they're good strawberries.
You're really good.
6 intelligence right here. So yeah, they agree to that.
I've
Or for
already had
you.
3 apples today and 2 peaches as well.
And you can always roll 3 2s, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
And you don't get to re-roll anything.
The minimums, but you might just roll a bunch of really crappy numbers. And be like, well, my character is pretty terrible.
Yeah, even if it's not a 1, it can still be bad, right?
Yeah.
Are we choosing where the points go, or is it going to go based off of just first roll is strength, second roll is dexterity, third roll is constitution, et cetera, et cetera?
We are choosing where the rolls go.
More fun for your character.
Yeah.
You get to pick like I've
That
always
way
wanted to
it's
play
really
like a
cool.
really smart, weak barbarian.
It also builds in some bad luck, like, insurance.
Yeah, see, he also said it builds in some bad luck insurance.
Like every time I
Exactly.
roll.
Some poultry.
I feel like Sigourney Weaver from Galaxy Quest, like having to repeat the computer.
Yeah.
Computer, are there any replacement beryllium spheres on board?
It's, that's good. Dave's bread.
Nobody else answered their phone, so
Well, that's, you know who loves you.
you got tasked with that.
No,
All right, so really just 2 more questions, guys, and then we can start building
trying to
out
help out
characters
with
and
trying to
seeing the
avoid
world, all
sodium.
that fun
I get
stuff.
that.
Yeah, no.
good deal.
Yeah.
That's
So-
satisfactory to
Well,
you.
all right, 3
Sweat a lot
questions.
less.
My fault.
Just what's that?
Yeah, sorry.
Uh, It's
All right, so-
46, drop the lowest. Reroll 1s, but anything lower than an 8 is still, you
Yeah,
keep
I'm
those.
cool with that.
That's cool.
The only thing that I was not confused about, but wanted to double check and make sure everybody was cool with was the reroll ones.
hmm
Okay, this is good. So Caroline's riding along with us, and she just rolled
Cool.
a character.
Oh.
And she rolled a 1.
Oh!
She re-rolled a 1. So
Apparently Caroline just rolled a character and rolled a 1. and she re-rolled it and it was a
The
1.
argument
rolled
ends
a
now.
one.
It was done.
Yeah,
So there you go.
It's in place, yeah.
So if you roll a
You
1,
roll a 1,
I'm not
and
saying
you
you can't
roll 1 again.
It seems weird to be if you have 2 6s and a 1.
Yeah, that's actually they're sitting next to it.
Yeah, it is. That is.
If you roll a 1,
I
then
mean,
it
it's incredibly lucky, but at the same time, as equally possible as getting a 1.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely more chaotic.
But I mean, hey, as long as everybody's on the same page with it, I don't care.
Sweet.
Sweet.
All right, so
Scott doesn't care.
let's see. Last couple things here, guys.
Wiggly, 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 wiggly.
Critical success. If we roll a 20,
All right,
what
we're
do we
talking
think?
crit successes
Do we
now.
want to just do like a straight double?
Yeah.
Do we want to roll 2 dice?
Oh,
Is there
for damage?
something
Do
I
you
don't
want to stay on with me?
I roll 2 dice.
Yeah.
Or I would. I roll 2 dice, or I would do 3/4 of the max of 2 dice.
I think so. When you just,
Oh,
I don't know,
what?
I'm a little
The
basic. here.
3/4.
When you do a
max
crit,
2 dice.
Yeah.
then you do damage roll, right? Correct. And you double it. So that's
That
what
would be to double the damage. Yeah.
Because my thought is rolling 2 dice is more fun.
Let's do 2 dice then.
Yeah.
It's just more fun to have more dice in your head. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm into that idea. I love
Because
that.
I don't know if it's better or
It's
worse.
just more fun.
It's just
Yeah,
more
man,
fun.
it's
It's like
more fun.
we're all having fun over here.
We're all having fun. Like we are having
It's just
fun,
like,
guys.
You can even have
Yeah.
like one dice.
It's like we're playing the drums over
Yeah,
here,
exactly.
guys. Are we Steve? Are we Steve?
Scott agrees. I agree. More dice means
Okay.
good.
All right. And we buy dice
Uh,
for no reason.
Crit
Now-
success equals double dice, and it's whatever those dice roll.
Branching off of that, like
Dice.
if it's not necessarily a dice roll, but let's just say like
2 dice.
it's an athletics check, and it's like I want to jump from this house to the next house, and that house happens to be 15 feet away.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, roll for it, you psycho. So you roll, and you get a nat 20. Are we going to do you succeed no matter the physics, or you succeed based on your skills?
So that's what the next dice roll would determine.
But I thought we
So if you roll, since you're rolling double dice, let's say that you were trying to, at the maximum, jump from one roof to another. You said, okay, do an athletics check, and you roll a 20. Then that means that no matter what, you're going to succeed. But let's see how much you succeed and how cool it looks when you do it. So I would say roll again.
So you would make it no matter what.
So you roll to confirm the critical successes on skill checks.
Say again.
So you would roll to confirm critical successes on skill checks as opposed to just accepting them.
Well, no, you like
We're just like the degree.
necessarily
like,
like,
can he-
you know, a nat 20 automatically that you succeeded something if you pass the next check. Because if you're wearing 100 pounds of, there's no amount of physics that's going to say that you drown.
I have no idea how that guy how that sounded to you guys.
Yeah, I heard it. 100,000 steel armor and not drowning.
Yeah.
But
I
you
don't
could
know.
do an athletics check
But
there.
I kind of want a little bit of. I don't know how to do this actually, but I agree that, like, for instance, the spud rope problem is like you could say I'm gonna jump
The spud rope
20
is-
stories now, and if you crit roll, you're like, well, I just levitated 20 stories. What's up?
Yeah.
That seems crazy to me. So there's got to be some reason to it, but I do also want the kind of wonderment of Last Chance Saloon. I've got 100.
So there are,
pounds
Like
of-
if there's two buildings
Mhm.
beside each other, you could bounce back and forth all
you
the
can
way
do
up.
some cool
So-
Jackie Chan
So Chris, I'm gonna throw this to you again, and I'm sorry to continue like putting more and more more and more responsibility on you, but I think that like you should have the ability to say, no, I don't think that you're capable of making that skill check.
even if you crit this.
Well, even
You
like-
succeeded to the best of your ability, but you
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
fell
Look,
10
like
short.
if I have a sixth strength, and I try to roll something like, no, I'm not gonna be able to roll that boulder. Like,
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. There will definitely be
Okay.
checks where even if you roll a 20, well, so like in the case of the boulder, if you have a 6 strength, you do succeed in rolling the boulder, but it rolls 1 inch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Like, yeah, you did move it. Like, you succeeded in moving the boulder, but you're not very strong. So, like, it rolled a little bit. And you can notice that it rolled, but it didn't accomplish
Yeah,
what you were
I'm
like.
Chris Renfield, I could punch the boulder.
Yeah. I sit there and punch the boulder over and over.
But I
It rolls an inch and
I
then stops.
I think this comes back to that other rule where you don't really have to ask. You just assume or say, like, I want to do blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
And then it's up to your call where you're like, hey, well, you can do that, but
No,
you're
I
1,000 feet on a cliff face.
Yeah, plus there are very specific rules about something in the game. Like, if take you're jumping, trying to jump 20 stories over a building.
you would just be like,
That doesn't
there's
work.
no
I'd be like,
check
yeah,
for that.
you can't.
I agree.
You can't do that. But
Yeah.
You can't jump 20 stories over a
So
building.
if
Not
you
even
pretty much,
a
I feel like if you accept the check, because what we're doing is whenever we do something, we're gonna go, hey, I'm gonna try this, and we look at you and you go, yeah, wisdom check, whatever check, right? We roll it. At the point when you say wisdom check, you'd be like, not doable.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
just be, okay, sorry.
Yeah, like if you were like, I
even
I
if
take
you crit,
this
yeah.
book that is in a language that I don't know, and I start to decode it now. I'm like, you can't do that.
Okay.
You don't know that no matter what your wisdom or intelligence skill rolls.
But it's only that we roll. Yeah, if you're rolling, there's a chance. If you're rolling, there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
Saying there's a chance. Sam's
Yeah.
Slippy,
I hear you.
Watson.
repeat that for the listeners at home.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, if you have a 5 intelligence and you roll a nat 20 on, like, an arcane check of other world stuff, or, like, planar shit, you shouldn't get to know that information just because you had a good roll. But you could also say, you remember coming across a book in the library one time, and now you know where to go, and that's your critical successes. Now you have pointed in a direction of knowing where to find it.
Agreed. It's all relative to your ability scores. Like, if you are on the lower end of ability scores, a critical success for you might mean, yeah, you remember reading some stuff in a book, but, and then we added whatever caveat we need to.
That makes sense. So there is a lot on your plate.
That's okay. So the good news is that, at least hopefully, the way it plays out, is that as we're playing, players will mostly try to be realistic in what they're trying to do. And then if it starts to be noticeable that, like, oh yeah, you just keep trying to see, like, what you can get us to roll on, then I can that's easy. I was like, nope, you can't do that. Like, look at your character scores. Like, you have a -2 in strength. You're not going to knock a door down. You're going to run into it and you fall over. Like, luckily we can do that. And hopefully as a group, like, that's also something we can police to be like, dude, your character is -4. Like, you're not figuring out the puzzles, you know. Yeah. Robarian, go hang out with that. let the smart people figure this out. Yeah, like, go fireball.
Is that now like an insult?
No.
Use the B word?
No. Wait till you meet the Robarian.
Well, I'm glad that we're establishing these things up front and not coming to them.
I agree.
Yeah.
I have a question for Chris. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you, Scott.
What would you think about, like, especially one of the things that kind of is questionable to me is, like, stealth rules. Like, if you roll, like, a 13, you would think you're stealthed, but you wouldn't know for sure. You know what I mean? And so what would you think about, like, an opposed roll, right? Where I roll, like, a stealth and you roll a stealth. I don't know whether I succeeded or not. Only you do as the GM, but I have to play it as I would.
Well, so are you? So there's two things there. Are you stealthing, like, while there are other NPCs around? Because if there are, then I don't need to roll anything because I know their passive score. And if you roll,
no, I'm just saying generally speaking, not in a particular instance. So, like, for example, like we're walking down the path of a forest, right? And I'm like, I want to stealth off into the woods. Like, of course, I'm gonna think I'm being super stealthy.
Yeah.
And if I roll like a 14, I'm going to be like, okay, well, I'm probably stealthed. And then you're like, okay, you're stealthed.
But secretly, you're like Kronk, just like...
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I rolled a 14, but you happen to roll a 16. Yeah, Scott, you think you're stealthed, but
so I think
I'm not actually stealthed. Does that make sense?
Like, I think that it would have to come down to narrative description, where I would say something like, you slide into the shadows of the woods. But that's all I would say. And then as you move, like, yeah, like, as long as there's nobody around, you're stealth because no one sees you. But as soon as you get near people, I can narratively describe, like, the error of your footfall or, like, your metal armor clanking or something happening that reveals you to the people looking for you.
And again, I think that that's something that at least we're establishing it up front, because I know that is normally how I play stealth, is like, I'm not going to tell you whether you succeeded or not. And during our short campaign, like, everyone failed a stealth check and I didn't tell anybody that they failed, but then they thought that they were getting the drop on the enemy, and it was like, no, they saw you.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, in our minds, we're always stealthed.
Yeah.
But we may not actually be stealthed.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the right way to do it, because if you're sneaking around, you think you're being sneaky. But then when the, guard that's at the door all of a sudden pops one off from the waist at you because he sees you slinking in the corner, then clearly you were not stealth the whole time.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, like, an opposed roll to make it easier for you to determine whether or not we are based on our roll. Or you could just say, okay, 13, I don't fucking care.
Yeah. No, I I think in the situation or the scenario that you brought up, where if we're like in a forest road and you like say, I'm going to stealth into the woods, you roll, I counter roll, and then we decide from there whether or not you're stealth, but I wouldn't tell you necessarily. Like, I'll know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think I always think I'm stealth, but whether or not I'm actually stealth, that's up to you to know and for us to find out.
Yeah.
I don't even think you need to waste the time on the counter roll, because you know.
Yeah. He's got the number.
I might do the counter roll just because it adds an element of like randomness. Like, yeah, you do step off into the woods, but then you immediately step on a hornet's nest, and you hear everyone around you hears this super loud crunch, and you come running out of the woods with hornets buzzing all around you. Like, there's some fun that, like, as long as it's not basically below like a 5, I would say that you pretty much succeed in most cases. But it would depend on all the variables that could be present in a situation. So it'll be fun to do some random rolling on cases, especially like while you're traveling, just to add some extra flair to it. But yeah, for most of the time, like Steven's saying, if you guys were just traveling down a road and you were like, I'm gonna pull into the trees, you roll your stealth, and I'd be like, okay, you pull into the trees, and then only I know if you're stealth at that point, but you think you're hiding.
Yeah, it prevents, in my mind, it prevents people from being like, okay, well, I didn't roll stealth well enough, so now I'm gonna roll it again because I know I'm not stealth. When actually you think you would be stealthed.
I agree 100%, man. I think it's a great idea. I already wrote it all down. And we're gonna do the stealth that the DM knows, and then there's gonna be times when you counter roll just for flair or for flavor, but most of it's just gonna be, you do that.
I mean, shit. Even if you roll a 5 on your stealth, you still think you're stealthed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yo, I'm so sneaky right. I mean,
I'm so fucking quiet right now.
you guys, did you know I'm sneaking right now?
Yeah. Watch me sneak down this road.
They call me the. They call me John Cena.
28 minutes. You have 28 minutes. Yes. Oh shit, Charles.
I'm not going later. I got a whole day tomorrow.
That's fine. Okay. Then,
It's okay.
No. You're fine. I want to spend at least a little bit of time there. All right. So then the last question is the opposite side of the coin, and then all this stuff we can actually talk about. I can just ask you guys over email.
I can do my character.
Yeah.
I want us to at least start with and you can always finish at home, but I would like to start together.
I got a quick summary.
No worries. Critical failures, same thing. Do we want to use them? Do we want to just say that it's like you end up like you fumble, like nothing happens?
I think that depends again to the situation. Like if you are, trying to vault a railing to jump down to the street, and you're like a story up,
that's right.
you
Okay.
critically fail that.
Yeah.
Then your feet are gonna catch. You're gonna fall down and injure yourself, right? But like if you're just trying to like run after someone and you critically fail that, then maybe your foot's gonna slip and you are like a step behind.
Yeah.
But if, like maybe you're fighting with a sword and you go to like do a flourish and you critically fail it, maybe you like accidentally throw your sword and whips around and cuts your arm a little bit.
Okay.
Or like
So-
you hit a friend.
So I think so I think botch is the rule, which would fall under other for this little checklist.
As
In
long
which case, we'll just kind of make it up as like if you roll a 1, rule is botch. Something negative will happen to you.
Can I say I don't like the mega botch, like where it's possible for you to die.
Yeah, we won't do that. We won't do that. I
Well,
just
now
like
if you're charging a dragon and you like just fuck up like that, but if that's in the situation,
But that would be
where I
like
might
you
die
would
either
fall.
way.
Yeah. And then
As
the
opposed to,
dragon
like,
attacks
the dragon
you.
is going to attack you.
If you got if you're a flipping ninja and you botch it, you jump into a railing, you might trip or slide down weird, but you wouldn't like
Break your leg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
We'll keep it relative.
There is one roll. I think Shomik told me about this. But basically, if you botch, I'm kind of adapting this. If you botch a cast, then it's wild magic, which is a roll of 1.
Yeah.
You roll a D100.
Yeah. Then you use the wild magic table.
Yeah.
I am
To determine what you
we
actually
already
end up
have
casting.
possibly 2 magic users. I'm fine with introducing that, especially because if you're going to stick with the story you guys came up with of being students who are coming out into the world, that could be interesting, but it could also lead really quickly to
Destroy some stuff.
like very
Yeah.
fast.
We're
So,
doing that.
And sometimes you get good results. I remember when I gave you guys that wand of broken polymorph, and you guys ended up using it as like an insta-kill tool. It's like, well, I mean, it has like a 1 in 4 chance of actually turning them into what we want it to, but it has a 3/4 chance of killing them. So,
Oh yeah, because it failed. They just turn
Just
into
like,
a helpless
bam,
pile
bam.
of meat.
So we'll just do a straight vote because I really like that idea. All in favor of magic users who cast and critically fail having to roll D100 on the wild magic table?
I
All right, that's everybody. All right, guys, so that's the last rule we have to do. All right, so it looks like we have all of our.
Scott didn't raise his hand, but he does agree.
Okay, that's fair. But everybody here did. So sorry, Scott.
It can really break some encounters.
The wild magic table, and I wish it was for every magic casting class.
That's okay, man. I think it's
Honestly, I wish there was a wild martial table.
I agree.
It might
That would
be.
be-
Well,
We
if you
can
guys
try to
want,
incorporate one.
if you guys want, I will make a random D100 table for martial classes.
It's a cool idea, but yeah, if you had to sit there and try to think up 100 different ways that martial weapons could fail.
It goes up your butt. It goes up your nose.
It goes up your butt again.
It goes up your butt, but this time deeper.
this time it makes another hole.
For
Yeah,
the critical hits, I also had an idea, and I wanted to run it past people.
All right, guys.
Wait, Scott, what'd you say?
Scott has something about critical hits.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
With critical hits, we're rolling the extra dice, right? That's what we decided.
Yep, second dice.
And
What
skill
would you guys
check
think about
are-
exploding dice?
Oh, sorry, I missed it because somebody else was talking.
What would you guys think about exploding dice? So if you roll the second dice for your extra one and it's a 6, you roll again, and you just keep rolling as long as you keep rolling 6s.
Nah, we're just gonna keep
That
it simple.
sounds
That's too
fun, but I feel like we're gonna
We'll keep
forget
simple.
about it.
Yeah, at some point we'll forget, or it would break an encounter. I think the second dice roll would be fun, but if we start adding dice stack, it's gonna end up becoming like, oh shit, like
Unless
you just
it's
did 300 points of damage.
what about
Yeah,
if it's just
so
once?
much
If you
That was
roll
one
once,
hell of a sword
then
swing.
one crit, then you roll again.
Nah, let's just keep it at 2.
Yeah.
just
Okay. Yeah.
We might incorporate that later. Like maybe we'll add something when you get
With a trinket or something.
yeah, like a special trinket offers you like some magical property to allow for
Max's trinket of
yeah,
damage.
exactly. Scott Reuter's trinket of exploding dice.
I'd be on
What?
it.
It could
Yeah,
just
man,
be
look,
Scott's
so-
Scott's exploding dice. It's a trinket.
Yeah, Scott's
Can you
exploding
wear
dice. I think it'd be actually really cool. Okay, so at this point we've done all the home rules.
It's just called
checklist
Scott's
stuff, man.
temper.
Scott's
Yes,
temper. Love it. So now it's time to start rolling some characters and talk about how stories connect, how people connect, how the world connects to you, how you connect to the world. So I think at this point it's just time for you guys to
So since we're
Bless
coming
you.
in our characters,
Yeah.
can I propose
Sorry, buddy.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah,
bad.
of course.
Bless you anyway.
our RPing,
hell yeah.
RPing
yeah.
our pants?
RP my pants. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
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 Cheers, Steven.
Oh, my bad. Here.
Can you tell Chris he never answered my text message questions?
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, I did.
Are you talking about the one asking if we could do Saturday instead of Friday? I already posed the question to the group because that aligns with Morgan's work schedule too.
You're getting another nonsense.
No, about Vidalkin, doing Vidalkin instead of Flashstar.
Oh, yeah, okay, so yes, Scott, you can definitely do it. We can have a second developer in the group. Sam said that he was okay with that.
That's a Korean.
However,
Korean
there's a stipulation to it. You guys are either going to be
Thank you.
of the
I like
same
it.
clan,
Korean
or
contract.
Yeah.
I would even go so far as to say like siblings, like twins.
And
they were
roommates.
Yeah. Like you could be siblings who both went to the academy together and are now, after graduating, embarking into the world of Kareborum to wield your new trade. What do you think?
I'm okay with that. We're both leaving. You said we're both leaving school or the academy to venture into the world.
Yeah, so I'm playing. We're playing around with the name of whatever school you guys were at, but you would have been in school on the Elven Isle of the Rainy Isle, which is just off the coast of where we're planning on starting. And at the end of your graduation ceremony, traditionally, non-elves are sent off into the world to ply their trade. So as the Dalkin, you would have been sent, across the sea, across the Himmelbar Sea,
because it might increase.
To send you guys into this first town that you can afford. For you two, that means this town of Lund that you would arrive in.
Yeah, Sam and I can work out the details of that. I'm cool with that.
That's easy. Cool. That's exciting.
So are we rolling for our characters tonight?
Yeah. So
do we want to go one at a time or all at once?
I think all at once. I might roll mine at home. That's okay, Joe.
I'm not gonna be able to do that because the Dalkin and the
For that reason, I think we should all go.
is in a book I don't have.
Where I want to put it.
So Scott says he's not going to be able to roll because the Dalkin and the class are not in a book that he has. But I mean,
you can roll your dice and get your numbers. That way, people wouldn't think you're cheating.
Yeah, you can roll it out, and we
Caroline's already rolled.
I mean, Scott could very well cheat. He could just roll it. I got a 6.
Yeah.
I got another 6.
I don't fucking play that game.
Scott, you can roll, and then we can we have all the books here. We can just walk through it with you to get your Godolphin and wizard that you want to get set up.
I'm gonna go pick up the books tomorrow.
How many do you
I'll build the character tomorrow. I can roll now if you guys want me to.
Hey, Scott.
Oh, it's
Yeah. So your highest.
You don't have to roll now necessarily, but I would just ask that before our first session, just send me for everybody. Just send me a screenshot of your character. Eventually, we'll get D&D Beyond set up, where we can start using that and get everybody's character sheets on there for everything. But at least here in the beginning, just shoot me a screenshot of your character sheet so I can kind of see what your strengths and weaknesses are, so I can plan around that stuff and
So one of our new people helping out with work, he'd probably be interested in being a guest star, but one of the things he did while everything with the economy was fucked was he wrote up campaigns for on Fiverr. Oh, I'm pulling the wrong string. Wrote up little one-shot things. So yeah, if we want to have him as a guest star, that'd be cool. Sure, he'd be down. There's another point I was going to make with that, but I don't remember what it was.
cool story.
I thought Charlie just glare at me, and it just made me forget everything. Besides, I don't know where I'm going with my next sentence. This is a stupid sentence.
It's the withering glare. Yes.
It is painful.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel the judgment. Why are you saying what you're saying?
The funny thing is I wasn't thinking that, but I drifted off in my mind.
Why are you
I was saying it to you, but I was really just thinking about other shit.
I can bypass that.
The great thing about that sentence is you can drift out mid-sentence and then come back, and it makes just as much sense.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're not even thinking. So.
That's it. Yeah.
No, we look very angry when we're just staring up into space, having the best thought. I'd be thinking about the greatest day of my life, and I look like
Rusting bro face.
I call it rusting murder face.
All right.
So at this point, I think everybody should be rolling characters, or at least rolling numbers.
At least rolling some numbers.
5 and 9.
4.
You need a die?
I need 6.
Yeah, so it should
But
be.
if I
got
roll
these
a
6.
1,
You can roll again.
I can roll again.
All right.
Should we use Sam's dice tower to make it truly equal?
No.
Nah, just roll your own, Jan.
Oh.
Roll what?
I rolled
Good.
2.
Because my first roll is a 6.
Yeah, but you get to drop
So let me see here.
4, right?
Wait, we re-roll ones, right?
Yeah,
You
and
re-roll
then you
one
have
once.
to take one if you land again.
Correct. If you get 2 ones in a row, you have to do it. Morgan, that's a lot of screws.
I just re-rolled the 1. Another
Hey! First victim.
It's 4 rolls. Right?
Roll 4.
Okay,
now.
I'm not trying to be that guy, but I did roll 3 6s and a 4.
So drop a 4.
You rolled 3 6 and a 4? Scott did, or you did, CD?
I did.
You did? Nice.
I rolled 2 2s, a 4, and a 5.
Steven,
Well, put that into your duck
race
class.
class combo that you're
So
thinking
you
of, or
find out-
you just
I've rolled 3
Kinda
3s in a row.
Well, okay. So about that,
You roll
if
4,
Scott
drop
is not
roll.
going to be a Kalash star,
But you're rolling.
Scott, you're not going to be a Kalash Star anymore, right? So I was leaning toward Kalash Star if you allow it, Chris. But I know that that involves you kind of coming up with how they fit into Kareborum and how they fit into Brao'Drana. Do you already have that stuff planned ahead, or do you want me to go with something a little bit more vanilla that could be?
No. It's like now that we have kind of talked here at the table and established in canon that there is this arcane academy on the Rainy Isles, then that creates essentially this like portal by which these more exotic races that would be found on like the other two major continents could make their way to this part of the world. So if you're gonna take that race,
Look at how many threes I
then
rolled.
you would want to at least have a magic
That's actually
user
not bad though.
possible.
No, overall it's not bad.
Okay.
Like for their class, but what were you
It's a
thinking for
3
your
or a
class?
6.
That's kind of crazy.
Honestly, I was kind of up in the air between like a ranger and a sorcerer.
Okay.
Well,
I think with the ranger, you could still make that work, particularly because the elves of the Rainy Isle, being that they are essentially like the stewards of the university, would also probably, not even probably, they would impart that knowledge of the forest as well as part of the larger university. So it's I think you could make it work, especially if you took on like an arcane trickster, but you wouldn't have to necessarily. Like, it would not be hard to write a backstory that you came from one of the other continents on the world, like Tekos, and made your way to the university on the Rainy Isle, and at the Rainy Isle, studied with rangers who taught you the ways of the forests of the West or some other type of language people can.
okay. Then yeah, I'm. Bless you. Bless you. Good Lord.
So, Steven, are you thinking what is it, a Kalash tier ranger?
That's what I was thinking. But if you think that just by the nature of being exposed to an otherworldly entity that I should go more magic, I'm also open to that. Or if you want, I can let the dice decide and go high low.
Actually, yeah, let's do that. I'm always in favor of letting the fates win, kind of move us where it is. So I would just say you choose the range, go high low for Clash tier, and in a more vanilla race, I'll let you choose the range of numbers, and then you kind of let the dice roll how they will.
All right. Let's see.
More importantly, have you guys ever seen the show Sherlock on Netflix with Cumberbatch?
Uh-huh.
Yes,
It's one of the best things
I've
ever.
never seen it.
Well, that didn't work.
Not there. Let me finish the story. Jeez, you're cut off
You
at 15. But no, and did you guys ever see the one where they rolled dice for the murders?
No, I didn't.
There was one of the Sherlocks where they would roll a 20-sided die to see what the next crime would be, and so that way he couldn't figure out what they were doing. It was completely random.
Which one was that? I've seen every episode like 4 times.
It might not be Sherlock the more I think about it, but it's like that. It's like a British crime thing.
That's amazing.
That's not what happened. I watched the episode 4 times.
You mean to tell me this rib is magical? He hit this rib for Bosco. It was a good show.
All right, Steven, what was your roll, bud?
So I went high ranger, low sorcerer, and I rolled a 3 on a d6. So sorcerer it is.
Sorcerer it is. And that fits into the story. Now you can be one of the other ship members that comes across.
We have a lot of glass cannons.
You do have a lot of glass cannons.
We should start a podcast
We gotta
called
fucking-
Glass Cannon.
If only there wasn't a podcast on glass cannon.
If only someone had told me
We are a pewter.
What about paper tigers?
Oh.
No, I don't think so.
No,
It would never work, you guys.
I'm gonna cut that one down right now.
Where did you see that? What was that sheet?
I'm not.
I looked at my class.
Yeah, but it was a list of the classes, wasn't it?
Would you say that's part of the last arguments of the king?
There we go.
Because it's canon.
All right. Well, does everyone have their ability scores, at least the numbers?
Numbers.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
everybody
got
has their
mine.
ability
I'm
scores
still
rolled.
calculating, but I'll be done in about
Super
2 seconds.
Class, right?
Not super average.
Super average. What class are you thinking, Morgan?
She was going to be a halfling ranger.
Oh, yes, that's
I think
great.
That works out too, because halflings are very common in the town of Flint, so you could be in the town. So that
Well,
gives
see,
us
that's
name.
good. Then we don't have 2
Oh, yeah, you
rangers.
can just be like a local hunter who's at the
Yes.
inn in the tavern because like
Yes.
you've already got
Yeah,
all
like
your
you can
goods.
walk in and bring in
I'm
like the
covered
fucking
in
bug
dead
on your
rabbits.
shoulder.
Let's
Let's take
it.
it. Can you please be
Oh
covered
my
in dead
God.
rabbits?
You kick
Let's,
open the door. Bartender!
We'll take it a step further and say
It's
that
got
we're
what class
already
were you playing?
acquaintance with the
Oh, like a
bard.
local
It's
hero.
going to be I'm going to be a wizard, base class, the subclass of Chronom something,
Chronomagus.
Yeah, Scott,
Yeah.
that was okay.
essentially.
Does that translate to time cop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Morgan, you can add on to like your little sheets where it talks about like people you know or like allies or whatever. You could add.
I figured the way we can kind of meet everyone is
She
the
is
3
a-
of us,
Bonds?
you, me, and
No, not
Scott's
bonds.
character.
It would be like
Go to get like a tattoo
Allies.
together because
Yeah.
you're
So the way that I've
The gnome
interpreted
that
it
runs
is
the cabin
you guys are
custard
freshly onto the ship, right?
Fresh on the boat.
Or you got there after me.
yeah, that's your
Okay.
ship that you've been on for.
I was debating.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that I was a kitten and was basically grew up as like the religious center of the thing. Like my guy, he's going to be very calm and not say much, and so like he would be the guy that the people on the ship went to with
Well,
like.
because the most ships had cats, like they almost worshipped them to get rid of the rodents and whatnot.
Oh shit! That's actually that's
I
good.
know.
That's how you started on the ship. You were the rodent catcher.
Yeah,
Through your like meditations.
and then people started to do it because of superstition and be like, no, we need him on the ship because he keeps the disease away because he's the best rodent
Oh
catcher.
shit, Scott,
He's
you already
just a
said
little
it.
Wait,
I
are
like
you
it. That's a good idea, Sam.
are you texting?
Is this Caroline, Charlie? Bayasna?
Oh yeah, Biasna.
What a great name. Oh my god, another wizard.
Has anybody read? Well, Last Argument of Kings? What's his name? Joe Abercrombie.
Yes.
Has anybody read Brandon Sanderson?
Yes.
She's merging two of her favorite characters,
Wait.
Bias and Biasna.
Brandon Sanderson's wrote a lot of books.
Yeah, she's read them all.
That's why you
Fucking weird.
Have you read any of them?
Any of
Hey,
them.
those are 2 favorite because they're both autistic.
No, what an asshole.
Well, that actually got showed up.
That checks out.
Shit.
I just started using my. You get
Hey
money
Caroline, if
for.
you're watching the stream, can you add your modifiers into those little circles underneath?
I don't think she knows what that means. She's
Like,
been asking
so are
me,
we-
but I don't know. It's like
Oh, so
Are we all squishy?
right now we have, I think, 1, 2, 3 wizards, a sorcerer, a ranger,
And a monk.
and a monk.
Okay. I mean, monks can be
Walk into a
tanks.
Yeah, walk into a bar and immediately
A
get
wizard
punched in the
can be a
face.
tank.
This is when the barbarians
I walk into a bar, roll death saves.
I will say, my character is a half-orc.
There you go. A half
Oh, shit, there we go. Why do we
barbarian.
not count that?
Now
Why do
we're
we not count that?
I didn't know.
Okay, well, there's our tank.
Nice.
And also, wizards can be tanks.
Wizards can be tanks. They can be tanks.
But tanks.
My guy
Can't
can
be
be
wizards.
Yeah, my guy can be tanky because if I just go based on the lore, that he was the rat catcher, so he was used to being like.
So basically, you're Charlie Day. It
Yes.
always sunny.
We all have cats at home.
Charlie.
Oh no! You don't ever become my character's role. Go in the sewer. I don't want to go in the sewer.
Oh, D, you bitch. Oh, you bitch. Just move it. Just move the table 6 inches, D. No, it's fine. Oh, you bitch. Oh, you bitch.
You damn bitch.
Cats don't follow physics, okay?
Maybe he just flattened himself out and squeezed through a crack in the wall.
Charlie, what's that even looking for?
Oh my lord.
Oh, yeah,
You're
yeah,
Charlie Day.
The class called Caroline.
It's just a car that's pissed. Christine.
Oh, that was a big jump. Did you just get car?
Caroline, Christine, car, Seeds.
Christine the car.
Yeah, the Stephen King book. But he said look up Caroline's whatever, and I said the class called Caroline, and then you said it's just a car that's pissed.
Yeah,
but it was a jump
big
to
jump.
Christine.
Jump. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Not for me. For me, it works out perfectly fine. Me saying.
Was it just the word car?
I have no idea
it
what it
doesn't
was.
matter. It was the sound of your voice.
I really don't know why I made the jump. I just did.
I was able to connect it, so it worked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So are we introducing our characters tonight?
Let's introduce them.
You can, yeah, man. I would love for people to introduce their characters.
So I don't have
Great.
much written for mine.
Hold on one second, hold on, because I want to be able to write down
I
these
have
like
not seen them in.
names and things like that, so that when we get into session one, I can say them right. Take a shot.
We haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I have to like.
You
sit
can.
and
I was
think
just going to do an
about it.
introduction about my character's backstory.
Yeah.
That was just like an overview.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10,000 foot views.
Like whatever she rolled.
Wait, what?
What?
Did you say there's 10,000 viewers right now?
What? No, I said 10,000 foot views.
Oh.
Your elevator pitch, you know, your...
Yeah, like I don't need the nitty gritty, but just kind of tell me.
There's not 10,000.
No, that's
Yeah, guys, so like 10,000 people are watching this right now. That would actually be really fucking cool.
I would be sad for them. Why are you guys watching us?
I think my brain would break and I'd just go, oh no.
I wanted to be a politician in 10 years.
Who is ready to give like a 10,000 foot view of their character?
Oh, mine's really easy.
I can do a short pitch. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
That's fine.
No, just no.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I'm
All right.
not.
We
Go
need to roll
ahead.
the dice here.
You're still following
Ready
everything,
for
Scott.
So anyway,
Just go ahead.
yeah.
I can't really hear them very much, but I think they're
Here
just
we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you, everybody. I'm really gonna go ahead. So
There you go. You go.
Okay.
I swear.
I'm gonna have for
Call me when it's something I care about.
Barbarian. It's so great.
Are you part of the Barbarian clan?
No.
True.
I'm in the backstory. Generally, the reason I'm at the town
Fair.
of Lund,
Fair enough.
trying to get the fuck out of Dodge, northern troubles, pretty much just trying to get the fuck out and start over. And I'm kind of a little bit hideaway, and I can say I'm working on stuff. I make Barbarian. That's it. I mean, that's a really basic story. I'm not giving you much there, and I'm totally not associated with anybody.
You have a name for your character yet?
Yeah, Sam Bruskinen.
Hold on.
Sam Bruskinen.
Unluskinen?
Sam Bruskinen.
So SAM.
SAMBRUC.
Uh-huh.
KINMNN.
Yeah, M-E-N. Okay, so
And
Sam Bruskinen. I like that name.
I'm just gonna spell it phonetically so that I don't
Yeah,
mispronounce it.
I got
Did
Sam
you
Bruce
find
got it.
Sam and
Can I just
Bruce?
call you Bruce? Just to make it easier. I wish every character you have just works their way out to be Bruce.
It's all Bruce.
My name is Bruce Starr.
Yeah.
But my
So-
friends call me Bruce.
Charlie, if you want to add to your backstory, because you were talking about the north, getting out.
Yeah, I don't know how far
That's
you'll
not
go.
very
That's fine.
accurate.
You can say you're leaving the reach. That's the most northern.
That's not very accurate.
There has to be, like, pretty much got pushed out by North Clans type thing.
Yeah, that's up there. That's good.
Yeah.
And if it's not, it's going to be now.
Yeah, we were in that thing, and
Or troubles.
And you're a
And-
barbarian?
I am part of the clan. I don't know what clan.
Let's make it up right now.
I have Von Sod, but I don't like Von. He's too pop.
Del?
Huh?
Delsod? Same basic principle
You get ready?
of the
Sod.
solder. Solderson.
We can do this.
This reminds me of Christmas movie.
Does a little bit, right? And
Soldrun.
there you go.
SOD
So do you want like a
RHUM, Soldier Room, kind of the same thing, but with a Mongolian inflection at the end.
you want like a clan name that is like a descriptor? It's not like so. Like for example, like
So I'm looking for
the ice moon.
No, like plateau. So like Jolly Sods. Plateau Jolly Sods.
Yeah.
That's where the OG people are from.
So you want like something that would be like a viewer, like if you're on top of the mountain at Dolly Sods, viewing out over the
Oh,
valley.
like that plateau is where we're from the highlands, pretty much. From up there.
Gotcha.
High highlands.
Sam Karuk.
Sod Karuk.
Sod Karuk.
Sod Karuk.
Sod Karuk.
SOD KHURUK.
Yeah, KARUCK is what I have.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's,
We don't have a lot of writing up there, so I just have
Sam Bruskinen. I gotta think about that.
Sam Bruskinen it is.
No, Sanna. Sanna.
SAN.
Oh,
Like
yes.
sanitizer.
Like SAN.
Oh, San
Eh,
Bruskinen.
as in Mancy.
It's supposed to be like sun.
And
yeah.
an N is in Nancy.
Sod Bruskinen. Oh my god.
Oh shit! So you give me the Sod Brucey and Lucky.
Well, I guess he could have. Yeah, that works out.
Bruskinen north, and now we have son of Bruskinen.
The half work.
Bro, if you don't think I'm already writing that down, somebody's going to mute their poppy.
Oh my god.
All right, so we got
Anything else you guys need from my backstory? Because like, I'm still fleshing it out.
No, man. You can use the template to fill out or flesh out as much of it as you want. Cool. You got your character sheet. Whenever you finish it, just shoot it to me so that before the first session, I can have it in mind what you got.
Yeah, I will say
like-
a big takeaway is I'm not trying. Big Bad Warrior, not trying to like show off that side. Cool. Trying to live away from it. That's
You're trying to like rewrite who you are.
pretty much. Yeah, I'm well known. Very well known.
Well-known warrior trying to leave that past behind him.
Yeah, known for the wrong reason.
Cool.
Big it, man.
Who's next?
Okay. Mine's pretty short, and I already have a.
Maybe 1 second. All right, I'm ready for you, Spud.
All right, so I am straight up ripping this name off of the That Happens podcast, but I could not find the explanation behind it. So I'm going to say it's my own. My name is Francisco Fuzzy Knuckles de Quevedo. Full name is Francisco de Quevedo, but I go by the name Fuzzy Knuckles. I am a Tabaxi monk. My mother stood aboard
What's your race?
Tabaxi, kitty cats.
So think of like a cat.
Put my cat eyes in.
It's one of the majors.
Gasps, bro. I'm going for gasps.
I can't wait.
Focus, man! You're the front line.
Yeah, but what's that?
Oh no, that could be interesting. If a guy has a laser pointer.
So you're a Tabaxi monk. What's you have like any other stuff built out like background?
So my mother stowed aboard a ship. I can come up with a name later on.
That's not.
And then I was born aboard that ship, and cats are pretty well worshipped, taken care of aboard ships because they keep mice and rodents and that kind of stuff away. And so the ship that I ended up going to once I was fully grown, I abandoned the original ship that my mom birthed me on. They ended up sort of worshiping me. So developed, not really worshiping, but he went into the religious side.
You're like a lucky charm.
Yeah.
For the ship. Okay.
Yeah. So he developed an overconfidence, I guess. Like he was overly brave, but he was also very wise, and like that he meditated a lot because he was a religious icon on the ship. So he was brave, dexterous, and wise. Is the best way I can describe it. And he's just been on that ship, a lucky icon, as a standard passenger, as a crew member for the past.
Are you like
6 years?
Are you like pompous because of that, or is there anything like that?
No, I wouldn't say he's pompous because
like self-important. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
he views the people who worship him as superstitious because he's like, all I'm doing is killing cows. Like, that's right.
He's kind of like,
He knows what he's doing.
I like that. That's cool.
I wouldn't say like he doesn't take
This
advantage of
thing's
them.
like
He,
6 pounds
like,
because I'm a
he
boomer.
knows the people on the ship view him as a religious icon and a lucky icon, and he knows why they view him as that, and he doesn't take advantage of it because he doesn't really give much back to the ship aside from killing a mouse every few months.
Well, yeah, you know, it's like how it don't cat feces have that chemical in it that like rewires the human brain to love cats? Yeah, there you go. So basically, by shitting on the ship, you have made everyone on the ship into cat ladies that love you.
Yeah, you basically.
Although I do kind of like being slightly arrogant. That could be a good, that could be a good weakness. Yeah, I do kind of like that because if you're on a ship,
do you know who I am? And somebody's like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Who I am? I am fucking Francisco with Fuzzy Knuckles dick on
They call me Fuzzy Knuckles.
They call me
because that could be. If you're not going to be on a ship for 10 years, people think of you as a religious icon and not.
Or maybe you're innately lazy because they always brought you shit.
Andrew, is it 6 years or 10 years? You said 6 years earlier.
I don't remember the average lifespan of a tabaxi.
About human.
Yeah,
It's not human. Okay, so
It's like a human, but times 9.
Left.
Oh, God.
So he would have left his mothership at, let's say, 3 years old, moved to the new ship 10 years, because then that would put him at 13, which would be very. No.
I was saying, so you're going to play a 13-year-old cat?
Lotus is 11.
12 years on the new ship, but he left his mothership at 8 years old.
Okay,
so he's relatively mature.
So you're 20.
But it's still all of his formative years have been on that ship.
Gotcha. All right, important moments, bud. What is the name of that ship? Because this is going to be the ship that Sam and Scott and potentially Steven come across on here.
He will not decide the name of the ship.
Yeah, I figured that part was
called the 50-foot rope.
No, I know. What's the name of the ship?
Scott says he better not call the name of the ship.
The ship's name is Fuck Scott.
Yeah.
HMS Scott suck my balls.
We got 12 fuck Scotts.
I feel like we should discuss. Like, I don't know. I don't want to have that onus on me. That's a big responsibility just because I went first.
I don't think it is that big of a responsibility. It's a ship that you're going to be getting off.
It's not even the end of the. Just say the word.
It's only ever going to appear in the first episode, and maybe it'll pop up from time to time. So it really isn't a big deal. You 4 or maybe 5 potentially are going to be disembarking from the ship as an already pre-made group. So what would you like?
So what? Let me answer that question with a question. Can you describe, or is there a king in this kingdom that was known for exploration?
No. I mean, yeah, there was, but they would not have named this shitty little ship after him.
So I'm on a shitty little ship.
You're on a very normal, like, merchant ship. It's not like a war frigate. Just throw out something like that.
Yeah, I'll let Charlie answer.
I like it. What about Parchment Passage? Because you're going from the thing back and forth to the thing.
Why Parchment?
Because it points to the university. It's just something like that. That's why I like to think of that. This little thing. It's one part of the story.
I'm just giving Andrew a hard time. I don't really care.
What about? I feel like the route would be called Parchment Passage, not the ship.
Sure.
This is all semantics.
So what if we have a famous scholar / politician? What would be their name?
I can tell you. Hold on a second.
Because that would be what the route between the mainland and the university would be called, unless there's a route between the capital city and the university.
Could it be a really shitty boat? It's called Albus's Ark.
There is not a route directly from the capital city.
Would this be the main route to the university?
This is one of a couple of routes from the university.
Top 3?
Top 10.
Oh my god.
Andrew.
Lund is
the boat.
I passed this off to
the
you.
Ocean Piper. Like you can just make it up.
The main route would be between the main city of Renwick, which is in the northern part of the Rhine.
I think it should have a really grandiose name but look like shit.
All right, hold on.
What about boat face?
What about
all day?
Just call it
Titanic. It doesn't matter.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Fuck, what was his name? Something Daytona. Tony.
Daytona.
Matt Berry's character in What We Do in the Shadows. His real name is
Oh.
Laszlo Kravenson.
Oh god.
Tommy Daytona?
No, it's Daniel Daytona. I feel like it was like an alliteration on his name. It was like, I'm Daniel Daytona, but I can't remember.
How about
I
this
don't remember it either.
flame?
Yeah.
Flame.
Jackie Daytona.
The
Okay.
whales with Jack.
HMS Jackie Daytona. That's the ship's name. If you guys are leaving it up to me, I tried to avoid me naming the ship. This is the result.
No, I like it. The HMS Jackie Daytona sails across the parts of
A
the
regular human ship.
Just
a regular human.
ship. Dude, if you don't think, oh my god, yeah.
There better be
Yeah,
at
right
least
now.
a vampire aboard.
There will not be. Yes. People will freak out. But if
Oh
you don't
god.
think that the captain will say, we're just a regular ship with regular people. Yeah, that's happening.
I tried to avoid naming it. This is your
I
fault.
like it. I like it. Plus, we are definitely going to use the Parchment Passage.
I feel like that's a great name for the route that it takes.
Yeah, it is. That's what the Parchment Passage will be. All of the kind of like generalized route from the from the run to the Rainy Isle, where you could go to the academy. So that'll be called the Parchment Passage. Heretofore in. That is now canon.
If you guys ever want things named, I love naming shit. It's like my favorite class. Anything, houses, cats, anything. I love naming shit.
Naming shit.
Love it.
Well,
Story and every day. Go
I
ahead.
don't know if you can give this much information into it, but are there a lot of like fiends and beasts?
Well, beasts for sure.
Beasts for sure.
There are beasts throughout the world.
Monstrosities or aberrations?
All of these questions have the same answer, which is potentially.
What are you trying to work
Well,
out?
mine
Well,
it says
She's trying to pick our favorite enemy, right?
yeah.
I would say that, and this is just
Based-
thinking out loud based on what you said earlier about having a bunch of like animal skins all over you and being like in the local tavern chatting up the bartender. My guess is that your favorite enemy would be a beast because that's what you would be hunting mostly around. Like, there's 3 major wilderness areas in the run. There's the Puzzlewood, there's the Kingswood, and there's the Oakheart.
Yeah.
And you could be there's the Deadwood, but that's not, you're not going to find much living there. And so
So
you
I
might-
wouldn't be able to be a beastmaster. I would have to be a
Ooh, I love
hunter.
these.
You could be a Beastmaster.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have friendships with some beasts.
Yes.
Yeah, you can use a hawk to track the animal that you're hunting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Andrew,
okay.
think
I wasn't
you're-
sure if that was possible.
You're like the Aquaman of
I
land.
killed her a couple years ago.
Yeah,
You guys could find some romantic, it's like,
yeah, exactly. And you get to use.
I
your
feel like
crow.
I sneaked
Yeah.
over.
No, seriously, I think halfling hunter with a crow familiar would be awesome.
That would be really cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I want a
and
raven.
The sizing is almost perfect for it too. Just-
It could pick you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
there you go. Halfling with a raven.
Wait, we got a message from our sponsors.
Stay
State
Farm.
Farm. Hey guys, this is episode brought to you by State Farm. Also brought to you by
By beer.
beer. People doing
Drink
outdoorsy
some.
things.
All right, so who's got the next character description?
Yeah.
Well, it says physical
So
activity,
we got-
quite like beer.
Charlie and Andrew.
Beer, beaches.
Roughly set up. So
I'm never gonna die.
Anybody else ready? Sam?
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this.
So my name is Latan Uzana.
Hold on one second. Zlatan.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
I love it. Uzana.
Uzana.
Is it really Zlatan for the first name?
Yes.
Nice.
How do you spell your last name?
Uzana.
Oh, so close. Uana.
Yes.
Okay, I put an H in there.
Someone should be like the Welsh one where they just way too many letters.
I'm
My name is
Dalkin Wizard.
You're what?
of the Dalkin Wizard.
Adolkin.
Logan.
The Dalkin.
Fruket.
Yeah.
Flixen Flugen.
Hadouken.
You want to eat the fruit cup. Gotcha.
I'm 132 years old. Lawful neutral. I'm 6'2", 180 pounds. I'm part of the ZEP League, and I study in the laboratory of storms and electricity.
Ooh.
Wait, am I supposed to know there's an illusion here?
Yeah. I mean, this is all. That's right. In real life.
Some of my traits, one of my really big personality traits, is I have a lot of ADD.
Wow.
Very much like I was telling you about what was that about weather? One of my bonds is I'll never forget where I learned all the things I have as a researcher and inventor. My ideals are fun. Like I love my job despite the dangers that my job presents. I still love it. Learning's always worth the danger. Flaws are if there's a plan, I'll probably forget it. And if I don't forget it, I'll ignore it.
I love it.
And someone that's a contact for me is I knew Sprite. It was a messenger for the laboratories, and that's kind of how I got into the laboratories.
What's his name again?
The Sprite?
The Sprite.
Navi.
Like the drink, only not spelled the same.
I like it.
And then one of my friends that I speak to occasionally is a CIMIC scientist, and we usually talk over lunch about our researches when we can.
But you work with electricity, but there's no electricity.
That's like
Like magical, wild,
lightning and storms.
not like
wiring up lamps.
Making
There's just
cool
this-
glass sculptures.
He's like Ben Franklin.
It's like
Mhm.
Ben
is
Franklin.
this in his world.
There's some other things that can happen, but we'll talk about that later.
Your CIMIC scientist, what's his name?
His name is going to be
Arch MVP named Elon Musk.
no.
But it could be Elon Tusk. New York.
Oh, what's the lady's name?
Can't remember.
Brandy?
Oh.
Grand Apple? Grandmother Apple?
I think it's choppy.
Grumble.
Ninja! Damn, what was
Cillian.
Cillian.
Sodium?
Sillan. Cillian.
Oh, sodium.
Cillian. Got it.
Cillian.
Welcome. It's the last time he was on
Who's next?
it. Only a handful of people.
Oh,
I've
God,
got
that's-
Caroline's character.
Yep, we got that one.
Here it comes. What is it?
By Yasmin.
So are you going to read Caroline's, or do you want
Oh.
to...
You got
Yeah,
all
you're
of it.
sending me
Am I gonna
scripts
get it?
over here. She's like, say it in this voice.
That's so good.
Okay,
All right,
so
Morgan, you go.
I haven't fleshed it all out because I don't become a beastmaster until like 3rd level, like with a companion, so I don't have one yet.
I remember the whole quest in Andrew did you guys.
Like
yeah,
Crow?
Uh-huh.
that was very strange. No, you like went in the woods and did some shit.
That's like most of D&D.
You go in the woods and you do some shit.
I went in the woods and did some shit.
I don't remember. It was something.
Would you like go into a dungeon and fight a dragon?
No,
What a
like
weirdo.
hundreds of years. You want this?
The book.
So I am a ranger halfling, and I don't know what my alignment is yet, but I will be a beastmaster, and I do have the favored enemy as a beast. I'd say that I'm a hunter, I like the adventure, but also like having, people I know, being around the familiar. But I also love adventure, and I'm kind of like waiting for that chance to get out of a small town because I'm like well known in this area as a huntress, and that's how I make my money. As
I will go most anywhere.
Slowly turning into like a Disney movie.
You know what?
Adventure to the world.
We said that we were going to keep it light, all right? There's nothing lighter than a...
Man, oh fuck, those are orcs.
Sorry, go on.
What's your character's name?
I may change it,
That's okay.
but right now it's Milia Grove Tree.
I like that name. It sounds very suburban. Milia Grove Tree. Yeah. No, that's good. Like, you need different backgrounds. You can't all be warrior. Milia Grove Tree. I really like from the cycle.
That's a pretty cool name.
I like that name a lot. Milia, I like that. It's very. I'm telling you, names tell the whole story.
So now that you know everyone likes it, you can change it.
Everyone's like, she's like, I'm gonna change it.
I heard it.
I am 25 years old, and my height is 3'1". So I have to add that 1 inch.
Yeah, it's 3 foot 1 3/4.
Yeah, I'm 42 pounds, and I have skinny brown wavy hair, and I have turquoise eyes.
Ooh. And we'll let you guys all do, like, as we get into especially like the first session, we'll definitely do like this little description of like as you walk into whatever first place we're in, be like the townsfolk turn and look and see, and then you can describe like what you are, and then that way like people can kind of take notes about it. And then for characters or people or players who aren't necessarily in the ship crew, like probably Charlie's character, that you could then be like, and then your group walks into this space, whether it's a market, a tavern, woods, wherever, and you see Charlie's character, and then Charlie can describe his physical character to you guys. So that way people can kind of take notes and stuff, because I'm sure it'll change with you now. Andrew has got to describe his monk, who could have a coat that is different.
Like SIDS.
Could be pure
Yeah,
black,
like SIDS or like Lotus's.
Yeah. All right, what else do we have for yours?
I'm definitely explore some type. I choose the bow, I think. See, that's what I was like, double tiny swords or bow. But if I'm a beast hunter, I feel like a bow and then one little dagger.
Like a dagger on the side. Yeah, you'd be able to do that, I think. If I remember right, for rangers, you get 2 martial weapons. One could be a bow and one could be a dagger. You can even have 2 daggers and a bow.
Yeah,
You get a bow and then 1 martial weapon, I think.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah,
remember
you
right.
have to choose the martial weapon.
That's where there's some really good items. Like there's a bow that's the bow blade, and it's 2 swords that are put together with like metal string instead of like regular. And when you put them together, you have a bow, but you can take them apart and have 2 swords. And there's one that's like the bow that has a scythe on either end.
Oh, that's cool.
But you don't have access to any of that yet.
That is all very exotic.
I have 2 short
Just
swords.
want to make sure that was clear.
Because I have 2 short swords, so I can like shoot,
Yeah,
and then the
take
beast
out.
like run at me, and it jumps in my face, and I'm like, Shah!
Yeah.
And like right in the neck, and it's like, and then I go, whoa, and like, and I'm like, ah!
We are halfway.
And then
I
and then your mom comes out on the back porch. Millie, come to dinner. I'm saying, just remember, you weigh 42 pounds.
So that's basically your one again a link.
It would be like a grasshopper.
Yeah. And then take the
Young grasshopper.
I like it.
That would be a pretty awesome intro for a character though, like this brutal scene of like her fighting a cat, and then it zooms out.
And
And
it's
it's a
like a
house
bunny.
cat.
Yeah.
Then the neighbors in the backseat just sitting there like, why?
Fluffy!
Where's my kid? Where's my kid?
Okay. All right. Steven, I think it's on you after a very well-timed shot before introducing us to your new character.
Yeah, see, I'm hyping myself up. So, I'm okay. So, my name is Telvari. To all appearances, I look like a half elf, about 19 years of age.
That seems elusive.
A little bit elusive. Except I have,
Suspect.
oddly smoky colored eyes, hinting at most people think like, oh, he must have an eye infection, he must be blind or something, but no, in fact, I am a Kalash star. And my magic abilities manifested somewhat suddenly, and could have had something to do with when the 19-year-old half elf was possessed by the quarry spirit that's inhabiting his body. He's pretty like skinny, like androgynous looking fellow, and
You're
very
David
naive.
Bowie.
Yeah, very exactly. David Bowie.
You have woman's bad eye, like androgynous. You're David Bowie.
And he is in fact trying to find out if there is life on Brao'Drana. But yeah, he has like a strange charismatic magnetism. People tend to like him wherever he goes, but he's actually, very naive and very not wise in the ways of the world. So he can get himself into trouble. But yeah, aside from that, I think that's, I guess I would say that he was probably accepted into the university when, a passing scholar, maybe a professor at the university, saw his random wild magic, somewhere near the village where this half elf grew up, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to come study magic and be a wizard?" And he's like, "Yes, I do want to study people and see what your culture's like." um So his deeper lying motives as a quarry are and I say his, I mean the quarry itself. I wouldn't even venture a guess as to what gender the quarry is, but the quarry is interested in using this host, using Telvari as a way of collecting information about the people of Brao'Drana and whether or not they are ready for extraplanar beings to cohabitate with them. But as a result of that, you know, culture wise, he's kind of ignorant and can get himself into trouble. And that's about as far as I've gotten.
I like it. So it's like Clash tier wizard or Clash tier sorcerer?
Clash tier sorcerer.
Okay, just making sure. I thought that's what when you were describing the magic acquisition, I thought that's what it was. That's what I double checked.
Yeah.
And then it's
and I haven't decided a draconic bloodline yet, but I will add a draconic bloodline once I get to that.
No worries. And is it Telvari or Telvari?
Telvari, Telvarri.
Telvari.
Two R's.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter.
That's a cool character. Yeah, all these characters are really, really good. I
got a quick one.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, we can do.
I'm speaking as if, imagine I am a third my size and female. Brao'Drana is a Dalmarian human wizard.
What's Dalmarian?
There's like 101 of them left.
All right, so Dalmarian
to make a coat for this lady.
Okay.
Oh, that's Dalmatian. No, I was thinking Dalmarian. I don't know. I'm reading. Well, okay. Dalmarian. Just the type. Okay, cool. Brao'Drana is a human wizard, lawful neutral with a sage background. She can be a bit cold and focuses more on logic than emotion. Before her mentor passed away, named Brao'Drana, she posed a question that she's been he posed a question she was unable to answer, and that's kind of her life's goal. She's willing to sacrifice anything to get to this. It's kind of like learning philosophical.
What was her mentor's name?
Brao'Drana.
Baez
Her
and
name's
Ruth?
Baez.
Like Joan Baez.
No,
I
like
said
Baez
her
and
name
Ruth.
came from.
I know, it's just I didn't know if she was going to just, pull the whole book.
Like Bible?
So she's searching for an answer.
Oh.
To the question that was posed by him, and that's kind of her reason for raising the intro. And she's going on this venture to find out more. Yep,
I think
that's it.
there was something.
What was
I
her
missed.
name?
Joan
Baez.
Baez.
Baez, like Joan Baez.
Oh, I thought her
Hey.
name was Baez.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah, like that song from Metal Gear.
You said it. I missed it. Yeah, you said lawful something.
Or like Jen A. I want to be a singer just like Joan Baez.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter because with the
Why are
lines, I feel
naked?
like you guys can play, and then I'll tell you if I think you're becoming evil.
Or
Or
stop.
you're being lawful,
Doesn't say. Oh, lawful neutral.
Yeah, this
That's
By the way, my character, chaotic neutral.
Lawful neutral.
You got a fucking
I
weird.
mean,
Chaotic,
you
yeah.
and Scott should both be lawful neutral. Cool. So, Charlie, you said chaotic
Neutral.
Probably lawful neutral.
It really, I mean, you guys can look at that, but honestly, like, I just want you to RP, and then we'll tell you where you're going. If you start drifting towards evil, I'll be like, yo, you're about to turn evil, bro.
You bet the roof is
So
in
I want. There's
Oh,
one.
1 second.
Yeah.
I gotta apologize. I'm usually in bed like 5 hours ago.
You're fine, man.
Yeah,
So
Don't worry,
I am gonna get out
Oh
of
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I'm
Everyone, it was a pleasure. Please tune in. Don't smash your computer.
Please smash that like
dude.
button.
Smash that.
Well, do you guys want to close up then, since these boys are leaving?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think does Scott have his character ready, or is he?
Yeah, you guys can keep going, but
Yeah,
Scotty,
No,
do
I
you?
don't. I haven't made it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No, then let's
Stone's got to roll.
yeah.
you gotta roll, man.
Stone's got to roll.
Stone's got to roll. Stone's got to troll.
Everybody.
See you
Alright,
Good
guys.
night,
Yeah.
boys.
Talk about next time, the
Yeah.
Saturday after next.
Alright.
Yeah,
Let's-
we'll
Bye,
set up
everybody.
some chat
Yeah,
somewhere.
do it,
Have a good time.
Get an email chain going.
But no, in all seriousness,
Yeah, we'll get.
yeah, I
we'll get
think
up.
we're closing up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, in all seriousness, we will be much more prepared next time, and like, we'll all be in person instead of like, one person remoting in, another person on a phone call.
Yeah, this is.
I mean,
is
I feel like this is a good bar to set it at.
the
Yeah,
fun of session zero.
statistically, it can only get better.
It can only get better. The fun of session zero is all the chaos that ensues around the creation of this thing.
So
Well, we had some unforeseen externalities that caused some issues, but we still managed to get together and roll some dice, which I think counts for a lot. And we set a lot of those house rules that I think are going to be very important going forward.
Yeah,
we went-
I'm gonna type
we
those
spent 3
up.
hours going over rules, which
Yeah.
is
It's just super important.
terrible podcasting. But great for us.
Unless there are people watching who are DMing who might want to say like, "Hey, yeah, this session zero is, super important because they're all the shit."
Or
that
like
happens."
newbies who have never been a DM.
And this is what session zeros should be about. And you know what? Like, I'm happy to have recorded it because now I've got you all on tape and I can call you out and say like, yes, Chris, you did say that we're gonna do
Yeah,
this.
exactly. No, hey,
Joke's on
it's
you.
perfect.
We're all drunk.
Yeah.
Good luck posting that.
Don't go to my employer.
All right. Hey, I have two follow-up questions I need to ask people here.
Fire away.
To their character creation.
Have you ever had a raspberry person?
Oh, we'll hear.
While you got distracted by that, can I do one question real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So my character, this isn't even really that big of an addendum. Could it be? So I want to make his coat solid black, and I'm basing it strictly off of our cat, Mr. Man.
Our cat.
So you wanted to be
So,
like dark, like Mr. Man?
Yeah, he would be solid black, but Mr. Man's a very big cat. Can my character be above average height, but not you would look at him and be like, what the hell is wrong with that person? But you'd be like, it's a big kitty cat.
Yeah.
It's a big old
What's,
cat.
So like if the
Yeah.
average height was 5'10", my guy would be 6'5".
I would say 3. I would say 6'3", not 6'5".
So on
it
the
doesn't seem
upper
like
end
much,
of
but
normal.
yeah, I think 6'3" would be like, you would be like, that's a big cat, but you wouldn't be like, holy shit, that's a big cat. Like you're just like, well, it's a big cat.
Okay.
Yeah, because even with like people 6'5", you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, 6'3" is like the NBA, or 6'5" is like the NBA. 6'3" is like, oh, you're kind of tall.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for. Not like
Put it in perspective. I mean,
when
the
you see that
Undertaker's
you're
only
you're
6'9".
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're like,
You what?
"That's tall."
I said to put it in perspective, the Undertaker is only 6'9". So like,
He's massive.
you're not 4 inches shorter than the Undertaker.
Well, what's Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
Like 6'1", 6'3".
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's where
I want to be Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
All right, well, that was actually one of my questions was asking how tall you were, and you didn't say it, so I was curious.
Dwayne
I
the Cat
don't know,
Johnson.
I don't know what average to maxi height is, but I want to be on the upper end of normal.
Perfect. So yeah, so we'll say 6'3". I think that works out really
Okay.
well. And then Steven, my other question was for you.
He's in the window.
Can you name or give a name to the person or elf who discovered your wild magic?
Oh, to the like the passerby that offered
Yeah,
him.
it could really be any race that you chose, and you could tell me if it's not an elf, just tell me what race they are and their name, because I would love to be able to work them back into the story at some point in some way.
Okay, so I'm thinking their name will be
Go Darth McDarth.
will be
To make it an entrance.
will be Shan Yanaris, SHANYANNARIS.
Okay.
And I don't know, whatever race seems appropriate for whoever's because you know more about the university than I do. You've kind of built this up. Whatever seems the most common race that you would find there.
Were you, so at least from what I understood from the backstory, you were discovered and then essentially enrolled into or sent to this university. Were you, and this can change before session 1, so it doesn't have to be a definitive answer, but were you living on the Rainy Isle, or do you want to be living somewhere in Kareborum?
Living on the Rainy Isle.
Then yeah, that's perfect. Then it has to be an elf then, because those are the only inhabitants of the Isles.
Sweet. Then that'll be perfect.
Awesome, man. Sean Yanaris. Good
I like
name. It's a good name to bring back into it. Man, dude. I like when I go home and already like start working on so many things. That's so many ideas.
Now, I did roll a random draconic ancestry, but I don't like it. Because I just rolled a random d10 to see like, oh, well, what would I get? It's a red dragon, so fire. But if you prefer something else, I will take whatever you tell me my draconic ancestry would be.
Is there? I mean, I haven't looked at it yet. Is there a reason why fire and a red draconic bloodline would not work out? Is it too overpowered? Is it trending toward evil as a chromatic dragon? Like, what's the downside?
Well, I thought it was kind of no, actually, you know what? I think that it actually makes a lot more sense, because now it kind of creates this tension between the quarry and the Kalashtar host, because the Kalashtar host is the one that has the red draconic bloodline, so tinging towards evil, while the quarry is obviously chaotic good. So
yeah, it's pulling you back the other direction.
Yeah, I think that'll be solid.
I think so too.
Answered my own question.
I think it's solid, because that also allows us to play off of this kind of inner turmoil that your character is facing.
Sweet.
I think it's pulled in two directions by its innate bloodline versus its host. I think that'd be fun to mess around with.
Awesome. I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Do you still have Scott on the phone?
No, Scott hung up, so we'll have to catch up with him. But yeah, with that, I am gonna go ahead and kill the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in, Showmick and Caroline. Appreciate you, and we will look forward to rolling dice with you soon. As I said before, I think that this is gonna get a lot better and a lot more fun now that we have some ground rules in play. Thank you for hosting. Well, thank you for hosting, Andrew, and also thank you for DMing Chris.
Of course. Looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a good run.
Sweet. Well, y'all have a good evening.
You too, man.
Bye.